Hello, one and all. Welcome to the final round of Swiss here in Blue Water Emeralds. For your entertainment tonight, we will have a best of three between Iceborn Kingdom and XSV Justice. Last chance for both teams. There is one playoff spot that they will be fighting for. Last week, we saw a tough loss for Iceborn as they were defeated 0-2 at the hands of Dorado Iota, both of those games ending sub-30. Meanwhile, Justice secured a decisive 2-0 victory over Crowd Control in-houses with some fairly quick victories of their own, although I think most of us are probably still considering them to be the underdogs in tonight's matchup. My name is Crewman44. I will be your play-by-play this evening, as well as your host for the podcast. We have some lovely guests joining us this week. Gentlemen, please introduce yourselves with your IGN, role, team, and share with us which individual match result you think was the most surprising from this season so far. So, Mr. Series, if you could actually bring up the bracket now so everybody can have their memories refreshed and can kind of take a look at what has transpired so far. And CZI, if we could come to you first for the introductions.
Yep, CCI, top later for XSV Gluttony.
Excellent, excellent. And then any results in particular that stand out to you as being surprising?
To be honest, it was mostly like, I think NV being in the O2 bracket was still the most hilarious thing ever. And I think Monkeys had such a easy ass ride to winning out. It was actually crazy.
Fair enough, fair enough. The next introduction, if we come to you next, Mr. Kaiser.
My name is Kaiser. I'm ADC on XSV Justice. New name is obviously Monoxia. If I would have to say the most surprising results, I would say it would be like Iota versus Iceborn in 2-1. I thought it was going to be a lot closer of a series than it was, but it turns out it was just like Iota 2-0 very quick. And it was very sad seeing my beloved Codas lose, obviously.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I believe Iceborn was pretty competitive against Gluttony in that 2-0 match.
Yeah.
So kind of getting blown out by Dorado was a little bit surprising. I hear you there. And then last but not least, our last guest.
Hello, I'm Rusty Crow. I'm the jungler for Sin Squad 0. For myself, I think I'm not good with all the names. I'm so sorry. But I think the most surprising match was Monkey Business versus, I want to say, Conduit in the 2-1 bracket.
Conduit Phoenix.
Yeah, the Monkeys were good when we played them, and I really liked them. But I was surprising that game went the way it did. I thought it would be a little bit closer, personally.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was pretty tragic for Conduit Phoenix. So their jungler had some internet issues there in Game 2. And so that was pretty devastating, I think. But yeah, I was expecting that match last week to be a little bit closer as well. It definitely was a shame. We'll see if Conduit Phoenix can bounce back here in the 2-2 bracket and actually make it into those playoffs. You know, that is obviously where we're going to be focusing in on tonight. Those are the three matches getting played this evening. Oh, I hear there's actually some seeding matches going to be happening tonight as well. But the 2-2 bracket there on the right-hand side, where we're going to be focusing tonight. And let's go ahead and move on over to some predictions and take a look at what we have here. First matchup, Moonlight Spire versus Conduit Asylum. Shout out to Chong. I know he was kind of hoping to get streamed tonight, but popular demand, we're going to be going towards Iceborn Kingdom versus Justice down there. But it looks like most of us predicting a fairly one-sided victory for the Spire in this first matchup, with the exception of you, Mr. Crow, there at the end, going for the 2-0 Conduit prediction, actually. So what are your thoughts there? Why do you think they're going to be favored in this one tonight?
I think, honestly, just like in a game that you have to win, obviously it's really easy to go with the, on paper, better team. But I think Conduit, I like them. I think they're a good squad. I've watched some of their stuff. And I think that push come to shove, they're going to surprise people tonight.
Yeah, they definitely could. They definitely could. You know, I remember when we were doing the draw show last week, Chong actually jumped in. It was very funny. He, came into the call and immediately was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to talk shit. We're just going to lose. You know, we're going to get blasted by Spire. But, you know, hard to say if that was, his actual thoughts or if he was just trying to, reverse curse himself, the underdog buff, you know? There may have been some mind games at play there. I'm not entirely sure, but I definitely think they have a chance. I mean, Spire's a very interesting teams. They have very high highs and very low lows as well. So I really think it does kind of depend on what version of the Spire shows up tonight. But yeah, I think the 3-2-0 Spire predictions maybe do paint a picture of a more one-sided match than maybe it is in reality. But CZI, what are your thoughts? Obviously you are a 2-0 Spire predictor there. How much of a chance do you think Conduit have in this one?
I think they have a chance. Obviously, I think if you look at percentages, it's probably like a 20 or 30%. I don't think it's like impossible for them to get a win because I think it's always possible for some shit to happen. Like a lot of people thought that Spire were gonna be like one of the best teams. They're gonna be like 2-0, be out by now. But obviously that's changed because things happen, and they've obviously played against quite a few good teams, but they've also lost against quite a few of those good teams. So it's all up to Conduit to really step up and try to become one of those good teams because Spire has showed the propensity to be able to throw those games.
Definitely. As far as Conduit is concerned, they did end up going to 3 games against the Chosen Inters last week in that 1 and 2 bracket. But I believe the 2 games that they won were relatively one-sided. So we know that Conduit can put it together on a good day. But I believe we still need to hear from you, Mr. Kaiser. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, like, I think as on paper, it's like giga favored for Moonlight Spire. I played against them like 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. I thought they were pretty good, and a lot of people said Obongo was like the star player, but in the games that I played against them, it felt like Witch at Black Mask, I think.
Yeah.
Is their name?
Yep.
I felt like they were a lot of the best player, and going into the game, they're obviously against wheelchair jungle, right? So I think if we like take out, or if they take out crucial champs from Julian, like his Xin Zhao, his Rek'Sai, and then like leave jungle to do jungle stuff, I think Witch Hat Blastmac will just gap Julian, and I don't think it'll be much close. Obviously, I hope for Asylum to win because there's a few plat players on there that I'm familiar with, along with Julian as well. So definitely hoping for them to win. But if I had to do a logical results and like if I was betting on it, I would obviously choose Moonlight.
Yeah. I mean, that entire top side for the Spire is the same top jungle mid that they had from their championship run back in season 12. Those guys all have a blue outer emerald chip already, so we know what they're capable of for sure. You want to say anything about that?
Nah, man. I'm not
So
saying
close.
nothing.
So close.
I'm not saying nothing, man. I'm just gonna keep it
But
pushing.
yeah, that's right. That's all you can do. But obviously, Chong over there on Conduit Asylum he has a chance for some revenge in this match. And some sweet revenge it would be if he could actually knock them out of the playoffs before even getting to the knockout stage. But I think Chong definitely his work cut out for him tonight. We'll see how that is going to go. Our next matchup is going to be Conduit Phoenix against XSV Envy, and we are XSV Envy predictors across the board here. This is actually originally going to be our streamed matchup. Bully was kind of leaning in this direction originally. But yeah, I mean, and honestly, for me personally, I feel like this is the most competitive on paper between the 3 matches that we do have tonight. You can see yeah, for me over there on the left, this is the only one that I have going to 3 games. I actually think that, obviously it was really tragic for Conduit Phoenix last week where they had those internet issues. And XSV Envy definitely has been looking really strong. They're on a 4-game win streak right now through the bottom half of the bracket. But I don't know. I had a feeling that this one was going to be close. But you feel very differently, CZI, eh?
I think that Envy, obviously they're on like an upward trajectory. And
yeah, for sure.
Originally, if you were to look at the beginning of the split and put these 2 teams against each other, you would never be saying this. But at this point, okay, I get why we're saying it, but at the same time, Conduit has played like nobody at all that mattered. Well, that's fucked up. I don't say they don't matter, but nobody. I know that's just crazy, but they haven't really played anyone but monkeys, and that monkey series is mad unfortunate. I found out about the It's a thing, and I was like, damn, they actually could have won that series. I was rooting for them, but I think this is a tough matchup for them because style wise, I feel like Envy has their edge in quite a lot of their lanes. So
yeah. I feel like it's worth mentioning as well that I think no one would argue that XSV Envy has had a much tougher draw to get to this point. Obviously they lost against Spire in the first round, and then they lost against Dorado in the second round. And And then, maybe they had some weaker opponents in the 0-2 and the 1-2 brackets, but definitely I think Conduit Phoenix haven't really been tested in the same way that XSV Envy have. So maybe that's something that comes into the conversation as well. Kaiser, what are your thoughts on this matchup here? You are a 2-1 predictor as well, I see.
Yeah, I feel like this Envy team, obviously, as CC said, on paper, it looked like a really good roster on, like, obviously I joined XSV this split, and I was hearing a lot of great things from them, but, like, Envy throughout they're on Aegis as well as BOL, right? So, like, when they were losing in Aegis, they were losing in BOL, and when they were winning in BOL, they were winning in Aegis. But the problem is they just lost in Aegis to XSV Greed, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like
I thought they won, bro.
no, they lost to XSV
No
Greed.
way. Hold on.
Resilience team. Yeah, how do you not know this, bro?
It's crazy because I'm one of his biggest haters too.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of momentum with these kinds of teams. Like when they're winning, they'll win, but when they're losing, they'll lose, right? So I feel like they may have a chance to lose this series and drop a game, as I predicted, to Phoenix. Even though considering much as CZI was disrespecting them, Phoenix have played very bad teams. They played CCI Emerald and actually Surprise, which are both eliminated teams, right? The only team that they played that is still in the bracket is Asylum, as well as Chosen Inter. So three out of 4 of their matches have been against teams that are already eliminated. So yeah, Phoenix.
Yeah.
They played Chosen Inters, they played XG Surprise, they played CCI,
Exactly.
all eliminated.
Envy has not lost to Greed. You cannot gaslight me. I'm looking at it right
bro,
now.
they lost in Aegis, bro.
No, I'm looking at it. You're incorrect. You're already out.
Oh.
Nice cut, bro.
Who's got the receipts?
I'm looking at
He's
the
wrong,
doc.
bro.
I'm looking
He's
at
wrong.
the doc. You cannot
You're just
convince
wrong.
me. Yeah,
While
okay.
you two debate that, let's hear from Mr. Crow on this matchup. Envy versus Conduit Phoenix. Your thoughts, Crow?
I like XSV as an org in total, and I do think they've had a pretty rough draw. Like you play 2, playoff teams in the first 2 weeks. Like it's just unlucky, and I don't think their games are even tremendously bad. It's just you can't win every game, right? And I think building momentum, even if it is against, we'll say, weaker opposition, it's still momentum, right? And so you're going in with wins at starting 0-2 and 2-0. In the last 2 weeks. I think that's a very good spot to be in, just because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you got into playoffs. All that matters is you make playoffs, and now they have a pretty good shot to do that. And then once it's in playoffs, it's just, can you win the next game?
Yeah, of course. I remember, I'm pretty sure it was week 3, Otter Talk. We were talking about in that 0-2 bracket, between the teams who has the best chance to actually make it all the way, like make the run from 0-2 all the way into playoffs. And I'm pretty sure at the time, all of us called out XSV Envy as having the best chance to do it. So they're almost there now. They just need a couple more Nexuses, and they will be into that postseason. So we'll see if they can keep that rolling and pick up the 2-0 tonight, as you're predicting there, Rusty. But let's move on to our last matchup, the streamed matchup for this evening. Iceborn Kingdom versus XSV Justice. And we have Justice's very own AD carry right here on the call with us. Kaiser, share with us your thoughts ahead of this matchup. Obviously you're predicting yourself to win. What's your mindset going in?
I mean, first off, I just want to say everyone on this call is a hater, because you guys all predicted me losing even though I'm in the call. So when I win, I will be mentioning this to all of you. But
okay, yeah.
If I had to talk about the series, I think like a lot of people aren't giving us like credit, or like think it will be just like a super blatant one-sided series. But like as I said with momentum, Iceborn has lost their past 2 series, right? And if we look at their roster, they're not players like with considered, like good mental, like, right? Like they have Codus on there. He's left a bunch of teams, right? Like he's tilted off the face of the earth. He's ran it down. He's went 0-10 in a lot of series, right? And not much about stats since they don't mean much, right? But XSV Justice has 2 players in top 5, whereas Iceborn doesn't have any, right? So I think it will be a lot closer of a series than people think. And I would have to say that I think we want it more than them. I think we're all very motivated to win this series. Obviously, me, Yengu, Bubble are on a team with Codus next split, so we kind of just want to like prove to ourselves like we're good, right? And this is obviously our playoff spot. We did a lot of roster changes in the split, and it would be meaningless if we didn't even make playoffs, right? So this is a very important series for us, and I think we will win. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I love to hear that confidence, and I will say, you in particular, I was looking at your result from last week. It looks like you popped off pretty hard against CCI. You were 16-3 in game 1, and then you had a pretty nice Zaya game as well in game 2. So I'm glad to hear that you're feeling confident, and we'll see if you're going to be able to carry that into this match against Koopa and Codis there in the bot lane. Koopa in particular, I think, has been looking really strong as well. So excited to see how that goes. But Mr. CZI, what are your thoughts? You are giving Justice a game, at least, with your prediction here. After hearing what Kaiser had to say, how are you feeling about this one?
I think it's going to be the closest series of the night by far. I think both teams actually match up fairly well to each other. I think Kaiser is definitely one of the top 5 ADCs in this league. As much as I hate to say anything good about him, yo, shut the fuck up, buddy. You'd be lucky I'm giving you top 5, bro. I could really be a dickhead. Stay in your lane. But they still have bubble top lane, and that's its own thing. But then again, he's against so easy, but so easy's been playing good in my opinion. So I think he might get jiggled a little bit. But the rest of the map is solid. I do think your support's of AI, but it's whatever. I think, their team is good. I just think Iceborn's a bit more of a complete team. I don't know, they just seem more cohesive when everything's going. Now, if Justice does some crazy shit and tilts them, then the series might just be over. Because I don't think Codis is going to be able to keep it together after that. But if they don't get tilted, this might be harder than they expect. But it's going to be a banger. I think it's going to be the best series by far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about momentum, right? And Iceborn, they have had some really tough opponents in the last 2 rounds. They were going up against, obviously, you, CZI, in that 2-1 match, I believe it was.
Not 2-0.
Oh, it was the 2-0 match. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, headshot.
And then they had Dorado last round in the 2-1 match. So definitely some pretty strong opponents, and they have not been able to get it done against either of those strong opponents. And on the other hand, for you, Kaiser, picking up that pretty convincing 2-0 last week over CCI, it's definitely easy to say that you guys have the momentum going into this 2-2 match. We'll see if that comes into play. But Mr. Rusty, what are your thoughts on this last matchup tonight? Do you agree that it's going to be the most competitive out of the 3 2-2 matches?
No, I think I don't think it's gonna be the most competitive, and it's no disrespect to you, Kaiser, but I don't like XSV's jungler that much. Not in a personal way, just I don't think he's that good compared to Iceborn's jungler. And I think that at the end of the day, jungle matters more than any other role, obviously. And so, as a jungler main, I am biased towards who I think is going to be the more impactful jungler, and that's Iceborn's, which is why I picked them. But I do think it'll be 2-1, and I think it's going to be a fun series. As for competitiveness, I think that no, it won't be the most competitive game. Even though I picked it 2-0, I think the Conduit Spire game is going to be the most competitive one. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun series for sure. But I think competitive-wise, it's I feel it's gonna be one team hard stomps one game, the other team hard stomps the other game, and the last game it's gonna be kind of the same thing where one team just gets an early lead and just runs it over, and then who gets it is up to I think that Iceborn gets it because their jungler's a little bit more proactive early, but I would not be shocked if XSV wins.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. One other kind of interesting thing that I noticed, just now, looking at these 2 teams is, last week. Between the 4 games that Iceborn Kingdom and XSV Justice played cumulatively, all 4 of those games were 30 minutes or less. So both of these teams tend to have pretty one-sided games, either win or lose. So we'll see if that's going to be a trend that continues tonight or not. But maybe we could go back to the bracket really quickly, Mr. Producer. We just have a couple minutes left here. We'll take a look at the bracket once again and sort of remind ourselves of how this whole playoff picture is looking as of right now. Already promoted, we have Syndicate Squad 0, XSV, Gluttony, Dorado Iota, Monkey's Business, and a Team Solo Invade. And then, obviously, they will be joined by the 3 winners of tonight's matches. So I'd like to hear from you, CZI. are there any other playoff teams that you're kind of eyeballing right now as thinking like they could be some pretty stiff competition for you? Any other teams
No.
you want to call out?
Okay.
You think you're just by far XSV Gluttony is by far the strongest team in the league?
You said I'm like looking at them like they're gonna be tough. I mean, the only person I would say that is about like Dorado, but like overall, it's like, I mean, I'm only saying because I played them. I know what they're capable of.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like overall, it's like I haven't played against as much else. Like I'm just being honest. It's not even like a slide at anybody else. It's like I can't give my honest opinion and say, yeah, these guys are tough, and then I'm like actually lying.
I want you to be honest. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Rusty? Any other teams that you're eyeballing right now?
I think Monkey Business is who I'm most worried about for playoffs.
Really?
Yeah, I think they played us pretty well. I think that was like a fun series. Like we went in, I think we 2-0'd them, but it was one of those games where I was like kind of sweating the whole time, and we just won the fights we needed to, and so I don't want to see them again. So if someone else knocks them out, that'd be really, really helpful. But yeah,
we should set that up.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I believe how it's going to work is Syndicate squads, your two teams respectively, are going to be playing against the lower seeded teams between, two of the teams that win tonight in this 2-2 bracket, I believe is how it's going to work. Don't quote me on that, though. So we'll have to see. Any final thoughts, Mr. Kaiser? Assuming that you do, if we just, assume that you win tonight and make it into the playoffs, are there any teams that you'd really want to avoid in the first round in the quarterfinals?
It's obviously XSV Gluttony. Every other team, I guess Iota too. This Sin Squad 0 team fucking sucks. They got lucky. I had Blue Shift and Egotistical game fucking week 1. They would have got wiped. Like it wasn't even close. If I didn't have Blue Shift and Egotistical, we would have won that. So Rusty Crow needs to pipe down. Rusty Crow needs to pipe down. Yangu gaps Rusty Crow. Yangu gaps Rusty Crow. I don't know what Rusty Crow is on, saying Yangu is bad. But Sin Squad 0 is gonna get wiped by us in the next seed if they choose us. Gluttony, I hope my sister org doesn't choose me and eliminates me because I will definitely lose that one. Iota, I hope I have some connections there now, so hopefully they don't choose me either. But I would be happy if Squad 0, Business, or TSI chose us, and I think we'd win any of those.
Okay. Well, that'll be very interesting to see. But of course, you got to get it done tonight first. So we'll see if you can make that happen.
Bro, don't worry.
Yeah, he's getting it done.
All right. I'm here. I'm ready to see it happen. But just some shout outs now, gentlemen. CZI, your shout outs, please.
Shout out to everybody played a comp. Shout out to the comp league. Shout out to all that shit, man. I love everybody. Except for, I was about to say except for Resilient. I got nothing against the guy. I just don't know why he blocked me, bro. I didn't do anything.
Fair enough.
But shout out to him, too. I hope he's okay.
Nice. Wholesome. Rusty, your shout outs, please.
My mid laner Everin, that's my goat. I love him. He's doing a great job. And then my support CR, he's super quiet, but he's quietly one of the best players in the league. His stats are crazy. I think he has less deaths than me, which is really awesome. So I love my mid and support. They're doing amazing.
Very nice. Mr. Kaiser, your shout outs, please.
Obviously, as CZ says, shout out to producers, casters, organizers, TOs, OPs, like shout out to everyone who manages these kinds of stuff. Shout out to Rusty Crow as well. Obviously, everything I said is a joke for content, so none of that's taken too literally, I hope. But yeah, shout out to everyone who produces and organizes.
It is.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. Thank you for the shout outs, Kaiser. Good luck. Have fun in your match tonight. And thank all of you very much for joining us for this episode of Otter Talk. We'll be right back, everybody, with the 2-2 bracket going to be Iceborn Kingdom versus XSV Justice for one of the last playoff spots for Season 14. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I bet. Good luck, guys.
Keep moving on. Keep moving on. And they say I have a grim sense of humor.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. We are now getting underway with our Game 1 draft between Iceborn Kingdom and XSV Justice. I believe, if I recall correctly, Iceborn Kingdom did win the coin toss. Could be wrong, but either way, they are going to be on the blue side for this first game. Storm, we were very sad to miss you for Otter Talk this week, but what are your thoughts heading into this match? What is your prediction before we really get into things?
Oh, my prediction overall, off the rip, I'm an XSV Justice believer, I think, tonight. That's the
Ooh.
caster curse that I'm going to throw down. I think it's probably a little bit of an upset here, but I believe in them. I think they can do it. Down with Iceborn Kingdom.
Looking for the fall of the kingdom, are we? All
Yeah.
right. Well, we were talking
Viva
about
la
momentum a little bit
revolution.
on nice. I like it. I like it. We were talking about momentum on Auto Talk a little bit, and Iceborn Kingdom having a couple of past couple rounds. They had XSV Gluttony in that 2-0 match, and they had Dorado in the 2-1 match, and both of those opponents were a bit too much for the Kingdom here to overcome. Whereas XSV Justice did pick up a very convincing 2-0 last week over CCI. So arguably they do have the momentum coming into this one. And looking like we're going to go for the Aurora B1 for Iceborn. Very interesting first pick.
Yeah. I mean, I think Aurora is really good and she fits into like a lot of team comps, right? She just provides that really high burst damage, but like she does have like some fairly big weaknesses when it comes to like lane to things that like range her and stuff. She is like susceptible to, I think, to getting poked out. And can also get pushed in. She does have like push into a lot of matchups into like really immobile champions. I think she's really good, but or don't lock that in. That's cringe. Please don't do that. Oh, okay.
Morgana's cringe? It's not that
Yeah.
cringe. There's more cringe champions than Morgana, surely.
Morgana mid, I would say specifically is cringe, which I believe is where this is going.
I
And the
believe so as well.
interaction, yeah, the interaction of, oh look, you're in my lane and I'm going to press W on the wave and ignore you, is not very fun to watch. Or play against or play. I would also say.
Sure.
I feel like
That's
even
fair, that's fair.
Malzahar's like more interesting because like you have the flash ult and stuff. Like there's some outplay, whereas Morg, you're just kind of always fishing for things. You're just randomly throwing out dark bindings and hoping they hit someone, or like following up with CC. Because like her ult is basically not worth talking about because we're an
Okay.
emerald and everyone should be able to avoid that. Anyway, Vi locked in. So we have really, really hardcore dive so far for Iceborn.
Yeah.
That's
Picking the
kind of
Vi into the
weird.
Morgana feels very weird.
Yeah.
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 Oh, and Leona as
Um,
well. They're indexing very heavily into CC right now against the Morgana. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna pay off.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. One thing that we always say about Morgana is like she can only black shield one person, right? But
yeah,
generally Vi and Leona can also only CC one person. So
yeah. It's
question mark?
also that thing of like the Vi is like, oh god, Poppy 2 here. Oh, that is so good.
Wow. Yeah, that does feel really nice for Justice right now. They've got some great anti-dive tools already. Even the Jinzhao with the ultimate can
Yeah.
be pretty good against dive, right? So yeah, really liking their side of things so far.
Yeah, I feel like as long as they pick like a somewhat mobile ADC here, like it doesn't need to be like the extreme safety of like Zaya or something like that. It can be the Ezreal or the Tristanas or just something I think that has some sort of dash ability to be able to reposition themselves to get closer to this Morgana or to this Poppy. And their XSV Justice should be golden. I think for the side of Iceborn, here you kind of have to take something really like aggressive laning style. I'm expecting to see something like a Corki coming out here. I was almost thinking maybe Jinx with all this, CC and all this stuff up from first, maybe to try and get excited, but they instead ban that away. Maybe not wanting to try and deal with the range and the traps. I guess I could see that being really annoying for them.
Yeah, definitely. And it makes sense to target the 80 carry pool. Both sides, though, actually still need to lock in those 80 carries. So we'll see what's going to be
Yep.
left available. A lot of options are still up as of right now. The Varus is going to get taken away. And the Sivir looks like it's going to get banned away as well. So the Zaya, yeah, this is something that did go very, very well for Kaiser, aka Monaxia, last
Yeah.
week. Had an 8-1-6 game on the Zaya in game number 2 versus CCI. And makes a lot of sense against Vi and Leona as well.
Yeah, I mean, for Iceborn now, the question is how can you flex your draft? Because you have drafted totally towards one index, and the enemy team has gone, we are playing full counter to what you were doing. So, what can they do now to try and make this game work better? Ash still seems really bad into Morgana Zaya.
I would agree, although it
Yeah.
does give you a fairly strong lane in the 2v2.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I guess like it's gonna try and give you your priority or something. Like, what do you pick
Yeah.
your top side? I don't think you can just pick a tank, but Iceborn's going with Cassante. That's the hover right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
kind of
feel like a
tricky because you're
fighter.
picking it
Yeah,
blind, but I hear
yeah,
you. Because it kind of
yeah. I
feels
just
like, you know, it. Go ahead.
yeah. My just thought was is I feel like this team's like really like low on damage despite all this like stuff that they've drafted. Like they have really high burst, but they don't have like a lot of like sticking power other than Ash, right? Ash is the only person on this team who can do any sort of like constant DPS. I feel like they just needed some sort of like extra damage from their top side. You know, Cassante isn't going to be able to kidnap people, I think, very well this game. There isn't any great targets. That's a Swain that just got locked in. That's another champion
It
who's exceptionally good into the enemy team diving on top of you. I'm assuming
Yeah.
this is I don't know actually. This could be Swain top lane into Cassante, or it could be Poppy top lane into Cassante and Swain support. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts? Swain mid even into the Aurora and it's
it could
Morgana
be.
support?
I mean, I
There's
do
like
think that the
3
Morgana
flexes.
mid. There are.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I do think that the Morgana is something we've seen Malins the mid laner on a couple of times, or Malins maybe. I'm not actually 100%
Yeah.
sure on the pronunciation there, but I feel like that's probably where the Morgana is going to be going. They had the opportunity to see the Aurora face up as well, right? So picking the Morgana into the Aurora feels kind of like what was happening there. But definitely between the Poppy and the Swain, both the double flexes, as you mentioned, between top and support. The Poppy I know is a fairly well-known Cassante counter that has
Yeah.
worked extremely well, even at the pro level. But Swain feels like it would be pretty strong into the Cassante as well. You shout out to Broken Blade, I believe, pulled out the Swain top a couple of times this year. So that could also be the case. I'm really not sure. Maybe you want to take Swain in the support position to give yourself potentially that range advantage in the 2v2. But could go either way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would personally be, I think, a lot more a fan of Swain being top lane this game and Poppy being your support. I just don't see a world that like Swain's able to survive the Ash Leona like all in on the support income that I think he's just gonna get kind of blown up. If Leona just ease him and like Qs him and Ash ults him, I'm pretty sure he's just gonna die, right? At they're the same level. Whereas I think if he's top lane and has a bit more money and access to being able to, get some additional levels, that he'll be able to survive that additional burst. So I'm hoping we're gonna be seeing this Swain top lane. I have absolutely no idea how that is going to work into Cassante. I figure it's just you queuing him over and over again and then just not interacting any other way. But who knows?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you are presumably going to be able to get some free stacks on the Swain going top lane
yeah,
against the Cassante, and that's actually a really good shout as well. I really like what you just mentioned about the fact that Swain, I think, would benefit a lot more than Poppy in terms of having that higher income, right? And then getting that
yeah,
extra golden experience feels like it would be more valuable for the Swain. So with that, taking that into consideration, then I think I agree. I think I would like to see that Swain top lane as well. We will be getting into the client draft relatively shortly, everyone, so stay tuned. But hang out for us a little bit while longer while we discuss these drafts. It definitely does feel like Iceborn, they were not very successful in their attempts to pivot away from sort of this dive identity that you were really hoping to see them, make that pivot, right? I don't think they really got away from it very successfully. And it does feel like XSV Justice have a really good set of champions here against what Iceborn Kingdom have picked up in this first game. But if we're going to look at some strengths of this Iceborn composition, you know, they definitely do obviously have a lot of CC. They do have a lot of dive. It's going to be tough to execute, but what kind of game plan, if we're going to draw up something for Iceborn Kingdom here? You know, obviously they are the on-paper favorites, I think, coming into this match tonight. How would you like to see them pilot this Game 1 draft in order to try to get themselves the first game of the series?
So I think the really big thing for this team is that they just need to get to the objectives first, right? If you're able to get to Dragon or things like that, and I feel like you want to be fighting earlier than the side of XSV Justice, if you can just get to an objective first and set it up and force someone on the side of XSV Justice to face check you, it's going to be really, really difficult for them. The only way I can see it really getting done is if you're able to like black shield someone so that they can walk in or type of thing, right? Maybe Poppy's able to walk in with W or something like that, but you just damage dump into whoever walks into your screen after you get that kind of initial thing, right? That you're able to get that pick with the VIQ. There's the Aurora Burst to follow up. Leona has all the CC. So like you don't need to blow like all of your, you know, all of your alt loads on like a support if they wander in, but you could certainly like seriously chunk anyone out. So I think if Iceborn's able to like get to objective first, get and set up, they have plenty of like opportunity to just really take over the vision aspect of the game. I think that's going to be really, really important for them. I'm assuming they're going to have pretty high agency from their bot lane when it comes to this Leona Ashe. You know, even though Xayah Poppy is like a direct counter to what they want to be doing, Ashe and Leona should have like priority, I feel, towards like being able to fight. You know, Ashe is notably very good at pushing, is always doing that chip damage. You know, Poppy is more just kind of disengaged tools. Same with Leona, can always kind of, you know, threaten to just walk up and Q. Doesn't have to always commit that Zenith Blade forward. So I feel like Iceborn should have this pressure from their bot lane. And they just need to be able to get this Vi going, right? You have a ton of different options to be able to gank this game that when you're looking at ganks, right, it's always, does your lane offer damage or do they offer CC to help you? And Vi is, you know, able to put in a little bit of that CC, and you have the damage from your mid laner to help you out. Cassante has so much CC to be able to help you out in a long extended fight. I feel like ganking Swain also should be super easy, so I would be, you know, almost curious if we're going to see a Vi going towards top lane in their pathing. So I really think Iceborn just needs to be playing the pick game, that it's about communication and trying to get vision established at these objectives early and then blowing up whoever's coming towards them. Whereas for Justice, I think they really want to be focusing more on kind of that big death ball style. If it's the full 5v5, I think Iceborn's cooked. But if they're able to kind of break this game up and make it more skirmish heavy, that's how they're going to win.
Right. But we'll see, guys, if Iceborn Kingdom are going to be able to get that priority and set up around those objectives, or if XSV Justice are going to be able to upset them in this first game. You know, Justice, we think they have a really nice draft here on red side, and Monaxia was very, very confident on the podcast just a little while ago. So we'll see how it goes, guys. We'll get into the break, and then we'll be back in just a few minutes for game number 1. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are imminently going to be getting onto the Rift, I assume, for game number 1 between Iceborn Kingdom and XSV Justice. I think any second now. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why we're here on the caster desk, to be honest with you, Storm.
I'm just kind of excited about this one. I mean, we were both kind of like jokingly, I was kind of predicting the XSV Justice upset, but I was kind of believing that Iceborn would be kind of coming in to win this one. But we're definitely both very focused on kind of this XSV Justice side winning here with all this anti-dive tools and stuff that they've drafted. Be really interesting to see how Iceborn's gonna adapt this one. You know, I was talking all about like the pick tools and things like that. Do you think it's gonna be grubs that they're looking for or first dragon? How do you think they're gonna be approaching the early game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Iceborn have particularly strong side lanes. I mean, Aurora can be strong in the side lane, but she's not amazing at like taking turrets.
Yeah.
So I kind of think the dragon focus would make a little bit more sense personally. Um, and the fact that they have this Ashley Yona lane as well that like we imagine probably should be able to get prio against the Zaya. So that I think would make sense to me. Really quickly trying to pull up, but yeah, I mean, I think that the side of Justice do have some really great tools here for sure. The Swain tech in particular, I'm really excited to see how that's going to do. Taking a quick look at Kleos here, if it is going to be the Swain top, I don't see anything here on the op.gg indicating that Swain is a possibility, but I don't really see any history for Amp in the support position on the Swain either. So I think that's
Yeah.
definitely our
It's
expectation.
I believe it's top lane. It is loading in onto the Rift and as top lane for them. They have some prestige skins. That means they've spent money. They care about Swain.
Okay. That is, I think, good news for all the XSV fans.
Yeah.
Why am I hearing audio cues like the client just crashed?
Hopefully.
Oh, dear. So the audio cues were indeed a tell. We are having some technical issues, but hopefully we'll be able to get back into things soon. But yeah, I mean, we were talking on Otter Talk as
Oh,
well, Storm. Oh, now I hear some game audio. I hear some
yeah. Looks.
champions loading onto the Rift.
I believe
Here we
we're
go,
in.
folks. All right, it is happening. Onto the Rift for game number 1. Iceborn Kingdom again on the blue side. XSV Justice on red with a very nice draft. It is indeed going to be that Swain top running the Conqueror, it looks like. Anything else standing out to you as far as the runes and masteries are concerned, Storm?
Not too much. Kind of interested that Zaya's running lethal tempo. I guess that's like her rune that she always takes, probably, but it just seems kind of weird to me. I don't feel like this is like a game where you're gonna have a lot of uptime to like be auto attacking people. I'm pretty sure most fights as Zaya are going to be the enemy team diving onto you and you pressing R and hoping you live past that initial engage.
Yeah,
See if
I
there's
mean,
any sort of fight here. I don't think so. Just the wards happening back and forth.
yeah.
The one thing I want to bring up that I think is really weird. Oh, ward kill? No, Leona didn't queue quickly enough. But that is. Are we calling him Codis in the as support 6-7 or?
Oh, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of prefer Codas personally, but that is also like somewhat confusing for people who don't know.
Yeah.
But we can call it Codas if you want.
I would prefer to. Anyway, the red smite on Vi to me is kind of weird, is it not? I feel like I almost never see
yeah.
red smite anymore. It's almost always blue smite unless you're like specifically a tank and you want green smite for some reason. So that one I think is really weird. I don't know why you took red smite at all, but we'll see.
Yeah, not really sure either, to be honest. Yeah, I never really take the red smite on Vi personally. Certainly an aggressive choice. Maybe that indicates that Haman wants to play this one out pretty aggressively. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like the green is really valuable, especially with like the Conqueror. Just give you that little bit of extra effective HP to get the Conqueror stacked up. But probably not going to be all that consequential. So we are seeing both of our junglers starting on the bottom side of the map here, interestingly.
Yeah.
Tapping up towards that Sante Swain lane.
Yeah, I was about to say, I want to draw our attention there. Casante's on 4 CS right now, the 13 of Swain. He's laying down like half the
Yeah.
CS currently in the top lane.
wave
Like,
is
the wave
coming in,
is
though.
pushing it. Yeah. But that's already like 4 or 5 minions that's already been unlocked. And I feel like this is like the part of the lane that like Swain's terrible for the first couple levels of the game, right? That like
Sure.
his Q gets to like such a low cooldown once you hit level 9. Like I feel like he's somewhat like that Aatrox way, that like you really want to try and bully him and do something early. And I feel like Cassante like level 1 with like Pathmaker isn't that bad.
Ooh, that is a big chunk from OTF there in the mid lane, able to find the weirding twofold combo onto Mullins. But yeah, I mean, the Cassante, I hear he can be threatening with the Pathmaker, but I wouldn't exactly classify the Cassante. Oh, easy looking for it there, not able to find the Q3. And Kleos in a very comfortable position, catching this wave near his own turret. In fact, Yangu could be looking for something up there in that top lane. And Hamankar not ready to match right now. In goes the Jin Zhao. Looking for the knock up, the flash wave for So
Flash?
Easy.
Just flash,
He's
Yangu.
going to get the Pathmaker really nice there.
Oh.
Buffers through the Never Move. And the Cassante will get away. Hamankarn securing that northern Scuttle Crab in the meantime. So it could be a double Scuttle situation for the Vi, potentially, if he can get down towards that bot side now. You know, obviously full information as to what Yangu was up to. And there we,
Yeah, and
there we go. Vi gonna get down there.
Yeah, Malin's forced to reset here as well after taking so many of those chunks from OTF. So yeah, free double scuttle for Vi. Don't think that's really going to be like anything all that big. Oh, nope. We're instead swapping.
Okay, So Easy pretty far up in the lane right now. Only level 4 on the Cassante. Is going to get heroically charged. Really nice steadfast presence there from Amp. So Easy does dash back over to the minion, and he will be okay. But that Cassante just teleported into a lane and now has less than half health.
Yeah, I feel like Colin Card now has to come down here to try and bail out his top laner, right? There's no way that So Easy can stay down here.
You say that. Cassante is a champion that famously is not very good at dying, so we'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah.
Well, he's just farming up the minions. He's kind of just chilling, to be honest.
Yeah, he
will have
seems
to play very
fine.
defensively, but yeah. It does mean that it is in fact going to be full bot side priority for XSV Justice, and we can see Yangu starting up this first dragon now. So I think clearly the thought process for Iceborn is they wanted to get the Cassante out of this matchup against the Swain, right? But I feel like they're kind of sacrificing a lot for this.
Yeah, I don't really think it's doing that much for them either, right? Like, sure, Cassante is like a little bit happier, but like Swain is still stacking. Like he's getting his stacks and he's getting all that HP still because he just has 2 people to hit, right? And Leona is very telegraphed on the way that she goes in and stuff. So I don't know about this play. And now you see the match has come out again, and we see the reset coming out for Iceborn. Are they going back bot? Are they really just committing to this, huh? They do not want this 2v2.
Very interesting. Well, at the very least, it feels like a pretty good read for Iceborn in terms of, you know, what matchups they want, regardless of how we feel about it. So, we'll see about the Grubs. Going to be up in 90 seconds. I mean, if these lanes are going to exist now in the current setup, then that should now be full topside priority for XSV for the next neutral objective. So, feel like they're in a pretty good spot so far.
Yeah, I feel like they got to be really happy with this. I mean, the one thing they do have going for them is they have like a fairly significant CS lead for their ADC. But Koopa's on Ashe. They're not playing like a hyper carry scale or anything like that.
Going to get pushed away now. The steadfast presence is going to be there. Is the Cassante actually? No, he's not. He's fine.
No.
I got baited.
Yeah, he still is all out as well to like get out. Oh, that's a Xayah root.
Low. He's so low now.
Why did you...
Now he's surely killable. Okay, this is an aggressive invade from Hamankarn. But seeing the Jin Zhao there, the Vi is immediately going to leave the area.
I don't think you saw him until that hawk shot came through at the end. I'm pretty sure that.
Oh, so easy is unstoppable. He pushes back against the Poppy. He goes out. Now Amp is maybe in trouble. But
Oh, he
dodges
missed the
away
second
with
W.
E and the flash in for Monaxia, and that is going to be the kill for the Xayah First Blood. XSV Justice on the board.
Yeah, that's also like a really big kill. They're denying a lot of CS here. Top lane, this should be these grubs coming up here really small, well, as soon as well, which should give them like a big thing. And Swain's safe down here on the bot side, right? That if Yengu needs to, he can get down there. Man, I think that is a really, really big mistake from So Easy, who kind of called a shot, right? When I can burst this Poppy, I can do this, and didn't respect the fact that Amp didn't even have to flash that second W, right? He just walked out.
It was the E, I believe. I think he used
Yeah.
the E to move over to the minion and get out of the way of the skill shot. So really well played, honestly, from Amp. I believe, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was saying that they didn't think very highly of Amp in Otter Talk a little bit earlier. Looking pretty good on this Poppy so far, for sure. And now we can see the grubs are being taken by XSV, so they're going to be up now. In addition to their one kill, they're going to have both of these early neutrals.
Yeah, this is a pretty big lead for them, I want to say. Amp here is going to get jumped on Harman Karn, but I don't think this was really going to be anything other than, you know, denying this vision with this ward going down.
A couple more stacks there for Kleos. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you were talking about during our draft conversation how you really wanted to see Iceborn be the team to get the priority and set up around these objectives, right? And that is absolutely not what we have seen so far in this one.
Yeah, they're pretty much doing the opposite of what I wanted, to be honest with
Yeah.
you, that they've been taking this lane that I thought would have a whole bunch of prio for them with this Ashe Leona and like not having it lane against their opposite number. I don't really feel like they've done very good job of like shutting down Swain. Like he's down like 10 CS, I guess. But Kleos
here on
is
a
laning
Codex.
pretty fine here.
Does not quite get the Leona into the wall there, and so Codis is going to be all right. But yeah, a little bit of an interesting setup now with the Poppy paired up alongside the Swain. And Xayah now is moving in a southern direction on the mini-map, as we can see. So unclear what the call is for Justice right now. I think we do see Monaxia looking to reunite with his support, but it's going to be the Demonic Ascension, actually, popped for Kleos, as he thought maybe that was going to be an aggressive look from Koopa and Codis. There is the Crystal Arrow as the Swain ultimate
just the
times out.
biggest bait ever? Xayah's almost here.
Nice. Oh, the flash over for the Ash gets away from the Keeper's Verdict, but Monaxia is
What
here
a bait.
just in time.
What a
Executes the Ash,
play.
and Codis is going to be next. It is 3 kills for the Xayah XSV Justice with a massive early lead.
That was 5-head as hell. I respect that so much for Kleos. That was so good. And he gets to TP top lane and collect the remnants of this wave that was just pushed in by Cassante. Holy crap, that was so smart by them. And there's now 5 seconds to this dragon. I guess you don't have your TP here, that you can't join as Swain, but as long as you get to stay on this map here with So Easy, you can deny the teleport with your never move. So I think this play was a pretty huge success for them. And we see this dragon has gotten started here by Yengu.
Iceborn are moving into the river, though. Hamon Karn here in the line brush, looking to potentially find something on Mullins.
Oh,
Hovering
Codis.
towards the spot side. In goes Amp, trying to do some zone control. Looks like the dragon is going to reset. And the mid prio now is going to gradually shift in favor of Justice. They're going to back away from the river for now. In goes
they're
the
jumping on
Vibe, and
Amp.
Amp with a steadfast
Yeah.
presence. Tanky enough to not really be too concerned about it. A nice binding from Mullins to dissuade any further aggression for now. We are going to see Iceborn King to move into the river, clear out some of that vision. But Kleos, there's a lot of work been done on that top tier one already. It is down to the last couple of plates. And Iceborn, they're not really committing to the dragon themselves. They're not really getting anything right now. There's going to be a charge into the wall. Codis potentially in trouble.
Amp?
Throws out the solar flare, though. Now
I think
Amp
he's
is
dead
one
now.
stunned up. He tries to flash away, and Blade Caller really nicely actually there from Monaxia to deny the follow-up from Koopa, and now the Ash is the one who's going to get taken down. Hamon Karn forced to flash away. as XSV Justice still on the chase. Kotis goes for the re-engage. The Black Shield is there, though. Amp trying to get something done. Yang with the crossing guard. He flashes away. He charges onto Kotis. The Leona surely going to get taken down, but it's the Zaya who gets taken down by the Cassante. Yangu does finish off the Leona, but now is going to get traded back by the Cassante. Double kill for So Easy. Iceborn Kingdom with a man advantage. They win out in the team fight in exchange for this top tier 1 going over to the Swain.
Yeah, I feel like you take that because I'm pretty sure your team just got 4 kills for 1 as well. On top of that, as well as this dragon. So that should be a pretty big win on the side of Iceborn, I would say. Kind of got them back into that game. I think it was looking pretty dire for them. But they got that shutdown on the Zaya as well. Monaxia taken down.
Yeah.
And OTF's going to get a really big buy here. I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to finish Malignance, I'm guessing. Maybe it's the pen item that you see in mid laners sometime buy that's just all about burst. The gun. It's used to be Gunblade, whatever. Luden's is called now.
There it is. The gun. Luden's gun.
Yeah.
Come through for the Aurora. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that was really nice for Iceborn. In fact, they got that big influx of gold. Got the gold difference back down. Although Kleos is obviously going to be very happy to pick up that solo turret gold as well. So we'll see how big the Swain is going to be able to get in this game.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning that first tower did give feats over to that team as well. So they do have the upgraded boots now as well. I don't think, again, that makes any sort of difference in that being worth it or not. But, you know, extra movement speed is probably the best stat in League. It's generally one of the reasons why feats are such a high win rate. But be interesting to see now that these mid laners are kind of rummaging down here in the bot lane. The ADCs towards mid, is there going to be any sort of fight going out? You know, Ashe can always start something with an ult that you can, you know, press in on the waves and then look for an ult randomly. Probably not going to look out for it onto Morgana as you're able to E it, but hold that thought. There is this engage coming in from
Still in
Kotis.
trouble, though. The Black Shield is going to immune what Leona can do. And, yeah, no, that's why we weren't too excited to see Leona into Morgana.
Yeah. Just showcasing off that Leona basically can do nothing when E is pressed onto someone by Morgana. You know, at least sometimes with Vi, you can like break Black Shield with like Smite and like doing weird stuff. You just can't at all when you are Leona. You just see someone get a Black Shield and go, okay, I'm ignoring that person for the next however many seconds it is on them.
I'm not actually sure what the duration is on Black Shield. I want to say like maybe 3 seconds. Not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty long.
Decently
I think
long.
it's like over 5 seconds. Or around 5 seconds.
That would feel very long. Maybe we get a quick check, Mr. Producer, if you could click on Morgana and hover over the Black Shield ability. Maybe I'm asking too much. Let's see about this next dragon in a couple of minutes. It's all right, Mr. Producer. Don't worry about it. Anybody who's really curious can pull up the wiki and maybe let us know in chat.
Okay, but we see a big play coming down here on the Malins. Is this going to get something?
The arrow, it does connect. The Black Shield does not come out in time. The minion wave is pretty much gone, but it's not going to matter. They brought enough members to get the job done. The kill does go over to the Leona, which is a little bit suboptimal, but regardless, a nice dive for Iceborn. They're able to get up to 5 kills now. This does mean that the Herald is going to get taken by XSV on the other side of the map. This turret's going to get taken as well. So overall, pretty nice play from Iceborn.
Yeah, I like this play if they're able to keep this mid tier 1 alive. If this Herald is immediately going to be able to take this tier 1 mid, I don't like this play at all. But looks like they're going to save this Herald, and they're probably going to use it towards this dragon fight, I would have to imagine, for the side of XSV Justice. Be interesting to see if Swain is able to get their second item completed. No. Is that? Yeah, I think they're building the mana, the health
the
mana item.
I think it is, right?
Yeah, Fimbulwinter is the upgraded name. I could not tell you what the normal name of it is.
Winter's Approach, maybe?
That sounds
Not sure.
That sounds likely. But anyway, kind of a weird choice, but I guess you just need to be able to live, and that helps you. And your Rylai's slow is going to constantly proc it, so I can see it.
Yeah.
I see what we're cooking.
Yeah, I mean,
But this is what I wanted to see. This is the we're dragon. We're 30 seconds out. We have swept vision, and now the enemy team is forced to face check us. Or we're gonna have Leo. Yeah,
the arrow
that's
is
an
going to
assault.
miss between the uprights. Dragon spawning in less than 10 seconds now. XSV
Yeah, they're
still trying to
panicking.
figure out if they can get into this river.
Okay,
Arrow
we're
gonna be
keeping
summoned up, and
Swain
comes the
early.
Swain
I
as
like
well.
this. Okay, now Kleos
Yeah,
can
so
walk in.
now, a tough choice for Iceborn. Haman Karn not going to find him with the Vault Breakers. That was very, very cute as the Swain was getting into the Rift Herald. Dodges away from the Vyq. Monaxia shrunk down to about half on the Zaya. That is big. Has to be really careful here.
Yeah, Koopa's about to
stepping up,
free
gonna get
hit.
out some decent damage. And Herald has charged in, been tidied up. That mid-prio no longer available now for XSV, but they're going to force their way into the river regardless. Solar Flare coming out onto the Morgana, who immediately explodes. Yang going down low, but he has the Crescent Guard to stay alive for now. Monaxia doing a lot of work here off on the side. OTF trying to go across the Veil, and the Aurora will actually somehow survive, but the Swain is massive here as well, doing so much damage, just draining off of everybody. That's going to be a kill on a Koopa. Now it is just the Kasante.
OTF?
OTF is going to die to the Demon Flare of Kleos. And the R5 Swain just doing all of the work in that fight. Monaxia having a great fight as well. They are going to tidy things up. It's going to be the 5 for 3 overall. And they're looking for the Dragon next.
Yeah, that was a brutal fight, and just showing this power of this Swain so immense here that Kleos literally just got to sit and drain tank that entire fight. And you saw, right, that Iceborn just tried to ignore him, that they went, okay, this guy's doing this weird tank, this drain build. If we just ignore him and kill these carries, we're going to win. And Kleos annihilated them basically, right? He got 2 or 3 of those demonic ascension, like R2s that went off because he started draining onto more people to get more of those intense damage. I thought
you could only activate it once per ult.
Yeah, is it? I thought you could activate it again once you started draining onto other targets. But I could be wrong there.
I'm not 100% sure either. I don't play a ton of Swain, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was just one. I don't know. We're giving a lot of work to chat here to do our research for us. That's all right. Sure they don't mind. But yeah, second Dragon over to XSV Justice. Feels really good for them, and this Swain, he has that second item done now. So, whatever it's called, he's in a pretty good spot right now. That is a big chunk onto Malins again. And OTF can go across the Veil, looking for the Between Worlds, the flash away for the Morgana. Yeah, almost just got burst out through the Black Shield there, nearly. The Aurora is doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is kind of the strong point right now for OTF, right? Having this build, you have your Hextech Alternator done. You have this enhanced N from your boots, N from your Hextech gun, whatever it is called. So just so much raw, like, MR shredding right now that if someone doesn't have any MR, which is like pretty much everyone on this team, I don't think anyone has any MR built other than Zinzao, right? With these Merc Shreds, same with Poppy. They're the only people with any MR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Swain, now look at that. He's actually halfway to his third item now as well. This guy's a monster. Like Kleos is just, he's getting ready for a POG performance right now, it feels like. The next Dragon fight, I think, is going to be massive. If XSV Justice can go up to Cloud Soul Point with, like, Swain Morgana, I mean, that just feels like almost an impossible position to play out for Iceborn.
Yeah. I think especially on this Swain, just having Cloud Soul and being able to just constantly drain tank and just get your way onto whoever you need to, it's going to be so powerful. It's kind of weird, but, like, Koopa is also going to have to build anti-heal pretty soon here, I'm pretty sure, on this Ashe, which you really don't want your ADC in a lot of cases to be building it, just because it delays their third item Power Spike, which is generally their kind of like capstone item, whether that's the Infinity Edge or Rage Blade or something along those lines. But new guy is available, and I think that's where we're going to be looking.
Potentially. Some good vision control over it for Justice at the moment. But yeah, at least the Ashe isn't as reliant on the Infinity Edge as a lot. Oh, could be in trouble right now. Nice charge in for Amp. The cease and desist from Haman Karn to try to peel for the AD carry, but it's just not enough. Koopa gonna get taken down, and now the Vi could be in a tough spot as well. The Flash not back up off cooldown for a couple more seconds, and Monaxia gets in there, takes down the Vi. 2 quick ones for XSV, and Kleos, meanwhile, just dancing around the Cassante effortlessly in the spot lane.
Just look at how many Qs this guy's landing onto so easy. It's so gross. Like, they're not doing a lot of damage because the shielding and stuff, but like, it's just going to add up over and over again, and that's new guy started.
No jungler for Iceborn right now. Haman Karn not back for 10 more seconds. Although Ampa doesn't have the Keeper's Verdict available right now, but the Otacon, it looks like it's just going to be taken.
Oh, what a pull.
Does go over. Yeah, really nice. I never moved there from Kleos. Gets both of the carries. The Aurora is just going to get exploded. Kotis trying to run, but the dash in for Yangu should be... Oh, they're actually going to give up on the Leona. It would take too long to take down 6-7. And so they are going to just look for this bot lane tier 1 instead. Oh, and I have a replay.
Yeah, so we can see, all these pink wards coming down, and there's that never move landing onto 2, followed up by that W into the Q, and just a really well-played fight by Kleos here. And yeah, that's new guy going down, Otacon down. Pretty sure this third dragon's going to be going over here pretty soon as well after this reset. I feel like they're just so strong here on the side of Justice. I'm not sure how XSV is going to get in here. I don't even know if they're able to... They have to, like, find Xayah or something to be able to burst them out. It has to be some, like, crazy target that they shouldn't be able to kill. It's not like killing Poppy is going to do enough, or even Zinzao here. I think it has to be Xayah or bust with this Ashe ult that's going to be coming in.
Here come the TPs. The Poppy going in pretty early, and So Easy's got a pretty nice position on the flank here. He's looking for the Xayah, but Monaxia going into the Featherstorm gets away from that Cassante, and So Easy just going to get executed by the Feathers. And now an advantage as the side of XSP look to press their advantage. Haman Karn dashing in, not able to find the Q onto the Swain, which I don't know if Kleos was really in that much trouble regardless. Another binding for Malins, and Kotis now going to get chunked down extremely low on this Leona. Looks like Soul Point is just going to have to be given. They cannot get past the Swain. Kleos just going to ascend just to make sure that there was nothing they could do to get past him. And that is going to be 3 dragons now for XSV to complement their about 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah. And there's still no heal cut coming through for this team. We have a little bit, there's the Bramble Vest on So Easy, but is Swain really going to be auto-attacking you and applying that? I don't really think so. These enhanced boots have started to come through. We see those on the side of Yangu and Amp, just 2 of the people that, OTF and is really wanting to try to burst down and get some of those picks onto. And we're going to see this pick try to get started here, maybe. Iceborn has grouped up, and they have cleared the vision.
It's starting to feel like desperation hours for IK, but Amp is kind of the only one that can get targeted right now. Yangu does dash in. Iceborn grouped up as 5. They're looking to focus down the Jinzhao, and they will get him. You burst from the Aurora enough, but Haman Karn tagged by the binding. It's just going to be a trade of junglers. And Iceborn can't. It's just not good enough. They needed more. And now, even So Easy going to get stopped
canceled.
On the recall. And Amp in a really nice position here. Going to be able to get this stun into the
Xayah's
wall.
coming as well.
Does go all out. Flashes away as well. Gets over to the Blast Cone. Will survive. And it's an expensive escape for So Easy.
Yeah, it's expensive, but I think you had to do that. Otherwise, if you went down there, that's got to be Baron, given over, right? There's... Even with the enemy jungle dead, it just means your team has no way to get anywhere close to that objective, and it would just be probably the final nail in the coffin. I feel like as long as Baron doesn't go down, there's always that shot that you're randomly able to get a pick that's going to put you back into this game. It's really, really slim odds, but there's still a little bit of hope for the side of Iceborn right now.
Getting slimmer by the moment, it feels like. Less than 3 minutes now on the first possibility of Cloud Soul for XSV Justice. They have 3 items done. Honestly, I think Monaxia might have his 4th item by the time that dragon spawns. We'll see. it's gonna be close.
Yeah, and we've seen Kleos is starting to build even more defensive tools. Has
Oh,
some cloth armor in his inventory. Oh,
they're starting the Baron. It's Baron
Yeah.
o'clock for XSV. We do see Iceborn Kingdom seem to be aware of this as they do move into this topside river. Then XSV are not going to brute force it. They're going to peel off the objective, look for the fight potentially. Arrow connect onto the Jin Shao. But he does have the Crescent Guard to stay alive for now. The cease and desist is well committed onto the Jin Shao.
Look
But
at
Haman
Monaxia's
Karn's
just-
going to die. Yeah, Zaya completely untouched in this fight, just killing everybody. Codis, it looks like, oh, gonna get hit and never move. Kleos looking to finish off this Leona as my stream did freeze. And now I'm back, and I do see that the Leona has died. And the Baron will be next. XSV Justice in a great spot now to close out this game number 1.
yeah, it just feels completely over from this point. There's no way that they're coming back anymore. It's kind of the wait for this game to be over screen. Is Kleos getting our MVP? You think so on this, Swain? I'm kind of thinking that he is.
Yeah, I do think that Monaxia has had a great game as well. But I
Yeah.
think the credit for going for like the off-meta pick of the Swain maybe does put Kleos over the top. I don't know. We'll see how the game ends.
Yeah. I think Amp has also had a really fantastic game on this Poppy support.
True.
There's been a lot of alley-oops and stuff like that, right? That has set up some of these plays.
For sure. Yeah, no
Um,
doubt about it.
And Malins, you were playing something cringe. Sorry, you're not in this conversation.
And also kind of lost lane pretty hard to the Aurora.
Yeah. That's probably the bigger
Kleos?
reason, but
Right. The mid prio is going to be going over. There's
Oh,
an Evermove
Codis
only
got
back
hit.
onto the Leona. He's tanky enough to survive that first one, but definitely got to watch out for those. Level 16 now is the Swain. He is
Yeah, they
so
don't even-
menacing. I mean, just look at that health
They-
bar.
they don't even need to do anything. They can just march down mid. They do have Baron, right? Like, they
Oh,
can just
dear.
threaten this tower.
It's a big chunk on Haman Karns. Another binding going to land there for Mullins. The inhibitor turret just going to get obliterated as nobody from Iceborn was there to defend it. Another binding going to land for Mullins. Leona get chunked down very low now. The arrow is going to connect, but it's only onto the Poppy. And Yangu doing a great job standing guard.
Oh, look at
They
Swain
immediately
standing
kill
in the
Haman
wall.
Karn, and Kleos is just going to kill everybody here again, isn't he? There they go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a complete wipe. XSV Justice were way too far ahead, and they will get a 30-minute victory here in game number 1. Something else, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned this, Storm, but between these two teams, the 4 games they played, all 30 minutes or less, and that trend will continue here for game number 1 as XSV Justice take a very one-sided victory.
Yeah, that was a brutal game, right? That
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get right on that, Mr. Producer. But yeah, pretty brutal game, definitely for the side of Iceborn Kingdom. You know, we kind of were worried immediately from the draft. Felt like they really didn't do a good job of responding to what XSV Justice was showing on the red side. And, you know, after seeing the game play out, I do feel like that's really, in large part, you know, how this game was decided. Although we were quite critical, I think, for good reason about those early lane swap shenanigans as well. I feel like that didn't really help Iceborn Kingdom out very much.
yeah, it just seemed to be swapping for the sake of swapping. Like, if the idea is we're gonna get this Swain behind, like, they didn't do anything to him, right? There was no 3v1 dives onto him. They just kind of let him farm against this Ash Leona, which should have been the real strong side of their whole team. And what it should have been playing for was just like they were swapping at points where they were giving up objectives, right? They swapped to top lane to lose first dragon, and then they swapped to bot lane to go at the first set of grubs and kind of gave over like all of the early game objectives that Justice could ever want.
Yeah,
So
and then we saw towards the end of that game, you know, they were up against it, the side of Iceborn Kingdom, right? They needed to deny Cloud Soul, and XSV
Yeah.
Justice did a great job of identifying the fact that Iceborn Kingdom were just out of options. They were out of place. They had to set up around the dragon, or they were just going to lose. So XSV Justice were like, well, we already have the Baron. Let's just push mid. And then the game
Yeah.
was over. Well done for them.
yeah, I think that was a really good job by them. I'm really happy to see them take that first win. And this is Iceborn, kind of one of the teams that we all kind of had pegged as, oh, for sure that team's making top 8. They're playoff bound easy. And they're in a pretty dire spot. They now need to go 2-0 up in a series against another team that's really good, right? XSV Justice, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say, are definitely one of the teams. They're very deserving of this top 8 finish in a playoff spot here. So they have a lot to prove kind of now, right? I think Koopa did have a good game on the Ash, despite being 0-6-4, they did do the most damage in the game. But the rest, and we had a good OTF did like a whole bunch of damage and won his lane against Monaxia, but like those things didn't matter individually. The team didn't play well. The macro wasn't there. And gonna be interesting to see if they're able to fix that. They selected blue side in game 1. They have side selection again for this game 2, and I'm interested to see where they take the draft. If they want blue side again, Aurora first pick was good, but I'll be interested to see what they look for, whether they think they're going to go for red side and just go for counter picks maybe towards top lane or something like that is the answer. I'm not sure.
I believe we did just get word that Iceborn have chosen red side for the next game. But who is we do need to finalize still our game 1 POG here, Storm. Kleos, I think? We're giving it to the Swain in the end?
Yeah, I think it's Kleos, but Amp, I think you deserve a major shout out for that. I'd give it to you if I could, but your top player did not die.
Yeah, really well played by everybody on XSV Justice. Very convincing victory there in game number 1, and they have now picked up 5 game wins in a row. So they are now just 1 Nexus away from getting themselves into top 8, into the playoffs. We're going to go to a short break, guys, and we'll be right back for the next game. All right, folks, welcome back. We are now going to be getting underway with our Game 2 draft between XSV Justice and Iceborn Kingdom. Justice taking a pretty one-sided victory there in game number 1. It ended up being like 27-9 or something, I believe, in total kills. Iceborn Kingdom going to be switching things up this time. They are opting to move over to the red side for game number 2. Backs against the wall now, Storm. It is win or go home from here on out. What are we hoping to see from Iceborn here?
I feel like they got to be playing some sort of counter pick with this idea that they need to be adjusting to what the other team is doing. They showed they were incapable of doing it on blue side, maybe on red side, that they're just going to take the opposite effect and see how XSV Justice is able to kind of flex and draft. I kind of like what Justice is doing, taking rid of like some of Codis's best champions here. You know, there's Bard gone, Nico's gone, some really like big playmaking champions gone from them. Leona's out of the pool as well.
Another meta jungle option for Yengu on the Wukong this time around. Feels like quite a nice B1 pick. And they're just going to draft for team fight here, presumably. Iceborn Kingdom. Oh, So Wukong's main weakness is AP junglers. This would be a bold choice, though.
Yeah.
Right, locked in.
Okay, it's Fiddle locked in. So if it's team fight, we're going to match team fight. Fiddle is always a disgusting champion. Kind of better in solo queue because it's easier to, call him out in coordinated team play, or it is in theory. Doesn't always work out that way. Fiddle can always turn the tides of game just with those multi-man ults, has those huge fear combos. And we're going to take Scion as a really early blind pick towards our top lane. Scion, of course, has been like the meta top laner, I would say. Dominated worlds basically. Has been pretty dominant in solo queue as well for a tank. Again, there's a lot of picks that are like pretty good into him. You can take the Mordekaiser, Set, Trundle. Well. Yeah, Trundle's been banned, unfortunately. But there's just like a lot of things that are just like good into him. Nothing that makes it so you can't play the game or anything like that. But Justice is going to take their own strong blind pick here, and they're going to take Orianna. Mm-hmm. So the invisible ball delivery system is here. The Wukong Trickster clone into the ult. And, there's that Mordekaiser that I was just talking about in the top lane, which is also pretty good against Fiddlesticks. When he ults into your team, after the fear is over, you can then ult him and send him to Brazil, and your team is no longer dying to the Fiddle. And he doesn't heal off of everyone with his W.
Yeah. Good call out there. Definitely something we end up seeing. L is going to through for Iceborn for Codis there on R3. I guess feeling like maybe his pool was getting pinched pretty significantly, right? So wanting to go for that support pick before the second ban phase. And now, obviously, Iceborn are going to have the opportunity to ban some support answers that would be strong into the route, such as the Alistar. That feels like a really nice ban.
Yeah, I feel like Janna as well. Again, sorry, I'm not sure if XSV plays it, but any sort of disengage, like Milio even, seems really, really good here as well. Braum, I don't think as much, but what ADC are we thinking we're going to be taking for Iceborn? I'm thinking you need something pretty safe here that's a lot of damage. I think Smolder seems pretty good to me here.
You're indexing very heavily into scaling at that point, but I guess I wouldn't mind it. I would think maybe the Sivir I like a bit more than the Smolder, honestly, although there's not the most spell shieldable abilities here on the other side. Obviously, if you can spell shield a Shockwave, that would be very nice. They're going to go for the Jinx instead. I think I actually like this more than both the Sivir and the Smolder.
Okay. I'm not sure if they have the tools to get Jinx excited right now.
That's fair.
And that's my major worry. And there is Jinx, despite being so popular, does have a lot of counter picks. I think Trist is good into her. I'm a big believer in the Twitch counter pick. I think that champion is really nasty.
What about
Um,
Kog'Maw? You haven't mentioned him yet.
I haven't mentioned Kog'Maw tonight. Actually, I also think Kog'Maw is good into Jinx because you can press W and you match her range, and then you can shred her. Also, really good into Scion. Probably not good into real Fiddlesticks, but you do get to utilize her passive against those champions. There is value there. Instead, we're going to go for Corki Nami, which is just really, really solid lane pressure again. So Justice basically has at least 2 winning lanes currently. We'll see what the mid lock-in answer is in response for Iceborn here. Syndra's just kind of the expected pick. I kind of don't like it here because you could have picked this way earlier and saved counterpick for someone that mattered. But Syndra gonna get taken here.
I mean, you were hoping to see a way to get Jinx excited, right? And now they
Yeah.
have it. The Syndra is definitely that tool to try to get that first kill and get the Jinx going to try to carry the rest of the fight. So I think Iceborn, honestly, I really like what they have here.
Yeah.
They have a very standard team fighting composition. I like the Fiddlesticks into the Wukong feels like it definitely can work really well. I think having some nice stable carries that are going to scale really well into the mid and late game, I think is what you need in a do or die situation, right? You just need easy to execute, show up to the objective, win the team fight. That's what they need, and I think they have the tools. But XSV Justice, they have a pretty decent team fighting composition here as well. Perhaps a little bit light on frontline with the Enchanter support there. So maybe on the side of Justice, we're feeling like there's going to be a little bit of pressure to actually win that 2v2 bot lane pretty hard to make the Nami pick worthwhile. What do you think?
I think Justice is very much looking to run over the early game, right? Mordekaiser should really beat up on Scion. Scion obviously, once he gets towards that Hollow Radiance point, can just start clearing the way just as effectively. But until that point of first item completion, Mordekaiser should be able to get some really, really big trades towards Scion. Fiddlesticks is not doing anything on the map until he is level 6, right? That champion is, while he can gank, he doesn't want to. He really doesn't want to. He clears the jungle so efficiently, is all about cycling camps. It's kind of like Nocturne on steroids of just like, I must get to my level 6 point, is a huge gold sink in that way as well. So I think Justice has a lot of like winning lanes and opportunities to really go for like some big early game punishes. I think they might come out of this game swinging really hard and get a big gold lead going. I'm really curious to see for Iceborn what they're going to do about the lane swap situation. You have Scion. You can lane swap and put your top laner in the most abysmal lane matchup possible, and he is fine. He is chilling. He can die and take the wave and be super happy. Whereas Mordekaiser does not want to be in a 2v1. That sounds terrible as Mordekaiser, unless you're able to just randomly like ult and flash and kill the enemy support or something with the Death Realm. It's miserable being against Corki Nami. So that's the thing I'm actually really... sorry. Into Jinx Rel. My mistake there. But like, I really think that Iceborn's gonna lane swap again, and I think it's gonna be actually really beneficial for them. If they don't, I'm gonna question why. Maybe that was just taken out of the playbook, that they said, it didn't work at all in game 1 and we don't know how to do it correctly. But I think this game, the lane swap's going to be a really big thing. And I think it's going to be the reason why Iceborn's going to be able to exit this early game, not down a whole bunch of gold. I think it's going to be good for them. So I think Iceborn's actually going to take it. I'm kind of in agreement with you.
Well, I didn't say that. I said I liked their draft. I didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think, I completely agree with everything you were just saying. I think the swaps would make a lot of sense in this context. Their composition does scale extremely hard, right? If they can get to late game without being too far behind, then I think we would consider them to be pretty heavily favored in that situation. So they do have really good engage as well to like go with their good damage scaling. But, and I think you touched on something else that's really important though, is the one hole, I think, in this Iceborn Kingdom draft, one weakness that I'm seeing here is the fact that they don't really have anything in the early game, right? They can't really do much at all. So that is, I think the way that they lose this game is if XSV Justice find a way to get a big early lead again and just kind of snowball the game out of control and get all those neutral objectives stacked up again, just like they did in game number 1. And again, just to mention it again, that has been a consistent theme for both of these teams over the past couple of weeks. They've had a lot of quick games. So it feels like Iceborn Kingdom are going to need to find a way to break that trend to actually get us to that game number 3 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had the tools to do it. They had the ability to lane swap and slow the tempo of this game down. They had the CC to look for picks and set these plays up. I think they're going to be able to take it, but it sounds like you're on the XSV Justice train. You think it's going to be a 2-0, huh?
I mean, that's just how I feel after watching that game number 1. On the podcast earlier, I was predicting the Iceborn Kingdom 2-0 before seeing anything tonight. But XSV Justice, I mean, their draft was better in game 1, and the play was better in game 1. And while I do think that, there's the chance that XSV end up getting outscaled here, and I do like, what Iceborn have, honestly, more than what they had in that first game, I just feel like XSV Justice, I mean, hearing Monaxia talk as well earlier, the fact that he was so confident, feeling so good, heading into this matchup, I've been convinced now. I've been swayed to actually flip my prediction. I do think that Justice are actually going to pick up the 2-0, but we'll see. Hard to say for sure.
Viva la revolution, down with the kingdom. Let's go Justice.
Yeah. We'll be right back for game 2. See if the kingdom can last. All right, folks, here we go. Game number 2, XSV Justice on the blue side, and we're going for a little bit of a level 1 situation. 5 men strong, moving into this bot side jungle. Taking a position to try brushing, not spotted just yet. Now
Is
Koopa will see him
Koopa
coming. Koopa.
Okay, no, we just got the
maybe
ward.
walk away. Yeah, not the greatest level 1, honestly, with this XSV Justice draft. They don't really have, like, any CC at all. Except maybe
You
a
could have
Nami
thrown
bubble.
out the bubble. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
hoping for. Just Nami bubble and then just randomly make Koopa flash or something. Because I feel like if he gets hit by that, he just takes so much damage, right? But
I wonder if Amp had already leveled W, though. Because the fact that he didn't go for it leads me to believe
yeah,
that maybe we didn't take bubble. But not really a big deal. We are going to get some deep vision traded. Both of the blue buffs are going to be warded. And our junglers are both going to be starting on the top side of the map this time around. Both of them going for the more accelerated clear with the Wolf and the Raptor start respectively, which I think does make sense.
yeah, both these champions definitely looking to kind of play towards that scaling side of the matchup here. So Easy did start W there on the Silent top lane, so has immediately declared that I am not playing for anything. I am trying to scale as passively as possible. Just going to let Hom and Karn just try and get that, reset towards the top side after they're done clearing these camps, or just get that full clear out towards the bot side. You see that Fiddlesticks is ahead right now, has already finished his buff and is on his way down over towards his wolves, whereas Wukong is still stuck on the blue buff here.
Yeah, Fiddlestick's a little bit speedier here early on. Is your stream froze? Oh, no, never mind.
Nope.
Um,
Still a little bit of connection issues, I think, but still going strong.
yeah, Hamankarn gone for the Electrocute here on the Fiddlesticks, which is maybe mildly surprising. I think Dark Harvest is more common, but certainly the Electrocute can work, and better for, those early plays, trying to burst down some targets. As, oh dear, yeah, I'm having some pretty serious connection issues here, actually.
Yeah. It is, if you can see, there's like the second stream where there's all the other stuff. I think it's a little more stable if you need to swap over to that one, crewman.
Yeah, just the screen's a little bit smaller. Harder to see, but all right. Well, we do have our junglers, obviously, as there's
the
an
flash
early
spear.
play into the mid lane as the Orianna in trouble flashes away. The third spear, the flash Q from the Syndra, gonna pick up the first blood for Iceborn Kingdom.
Yeah, that's really big, and that Nami bubble missing was also pretty big. I think that would have been a return kill for Justice if that had have landed there. For the bot lane and top lane, I think that there's a lot of damage going to get traded back here as well for Kleos. I think So Easy, while they do have the push now and everything, 6 should be theirs first, and they are kind of in that spot where they're forced to be here. We do see Fiddlesticks was topside.
A lot of damage onto the Mordekaiser. Kleos is very low. The Fiddlesticks, he could stick around. No, he completed the recall.
The W.
Fiddlesticks is out of there. And now the shield for Kleos, but the explosion from the shield of the Scion for the extra damage. And So Easy going to pick up a solo kill in the top lane. IK up 2-0 early.
Yeah, that's really, really big for them. I do want to say, Kleos, please don't use your W shield to try and get health when you're trading really heavily there, man. Just keep the shield. But we'll see what we're able to kind of get. Wukong is just in parity with Fiddlesticks, right? In terms of the farm, neither of them have gotten any sort of advantage, and Fiddles has been on the map and getting some plays out here. Oh, great charge Q there for So Easy. Look at that trade. And is now just able to walk out as well. Oh.
And this is like the portion of the matchup where the Mordekaiser is supposed to be stronger, right? Before the Scion is able to pick up that magic resist. And Kleos is really struggling here in this lane right now. Is at least going to get it shoved out. Yeah, the wave will crash, I think, there for the Mordekaiser. But yeah, Kleos taking a lot of damage in the process.
Yeah, and he's just getting hit by these soul furnaces over and over again, these Scion W explosions. And that's kind of like the major part of Sion's early damage. It's of course the key to the decimating smash there, but Sion's W is like a major part of his damage early, and has ult and like has E.
Yeah,
If he
that's almost
lands E, I'm
advantage
pretty
now.
sure Kleos dies. Oh,
See,
this
there's
guy's
the
dead.
Q.
Art.
Oh, so easy. Just gonna hold on to it. Not gonna go for the
What?
kill just yet. He's happy to zone Kleos off the wave here. Gonna be able to maintain the XP advantage at the very least. But I agree. I saw the kill angle there as well. But speaking of subverting expectations, Haman Karn on the Fiddlesticks is being extremely active pre-6, and he has,
Yeah.
they have baited in Monaxia. The Valk forward there is going to be the demise of it. Really nice Aqua Prison on it too, but it's not going to matter. Koopa picks up the kill, and that is going to be the feat of warfare for Iceborn Kingdom. We said they had the scaling draft, but they are making a lot of early moves, and they are being rewarded for it. There's the ultimate in the top lane. Kleos going down low. Still not level 6 just yet on the Mordekaiser, but now so easy. Low on resources as well. Trying to get that wave pushed out. When does Kleos get 6 here? Not in time. But Yangu on the Wukong could be able to finish off this Scion. Flash away for so easy. Warrior Trickster, not enough to close the distance. And now we're going to see the first dragon go over to Iceborn as well. Very good spot for them here early on.
Yeah, for Iceborn, I'm pretty sure this game so far is already a W just for like how your early game's going. Like they've been playing it so well. The only thing I think they need to do here is they should swap for grubs here, I think.
Yeah, looks like that's we do have Koopa right now going back into this bottom lane, so doesn't seem like that is going to be the call for now, but Monaxia is going to be down there as well. You're just laughing at the
OTF
Raptors
cheekily.
releasing.
I was just kind of laughing at OTF grabbing away the big chicken away so that Yengu couldn't clear it. Being able to save that for Haman Karn there is pretty great.
What a based mid laner is OTF, defending the Raptor camp for his jungler. I love that. Just, it warms my heart, you know?
Yeah, and Rel now coming down here, going to be able to clear the way, I think, for this Fiddlesticks. Places that pink ward. Or is, no, that's just a regular ward in the Tri-Brush.
Also, the Fiddlesticks is on his Krugs right now. The
that's
Grubs
an
are
effigy.
being... It's all right.
Okay.
The Grubs are being taken by Yangu and XSV Justice, so it looks like that is not going to be contested by Iceborn. We do have the Scion moving down now. The Smite comes through for the Wukong, so Yangu, it turns out, is actually just going to be happy with those 2 Grubs, which does obviously get you the feats credit and the Voidling spawn. So that's really all you need is the 2 Grubs. Third one is just gravy, to be honest.
But yeah, just gonna be curious to see now, what is Monaxia and Amp able to do down towards this bot lane? Because I feel like that should be this big power point for them, is this quirky, you know, being able to Valk in with those Nami Tidecaller Blessing auto attacks, being able to utilize that Sheen damage once he finishes that. I feel like there should be a lot of strong plays here, but we're seeing some really great play off towards this top lane from Scion
so
here.
easy.
So
Some great work so far on the Scion. Gonna find another Q here. At least the shield does come out for Kleos to mitigate that damage. But yeah, the Mordekaiser is just gonna continue to suffer up here, it looks like. And so that is
Yeah, and
the
it's
main
not-
value of the pick was to counter the Scion, and that is not happening.
yeah, especially considering like this is the point you're supposed to be winning, like I mentioned, right? Once Scion gets to his Hollow Radiance, he becomes so much harder for you to kill and just starts out shoving you, because that's how this lane works basically, is whichever of these laners has shove generally wins, because it means they're healing off the minion waves and things like that. Kleos is really far forward here, and just used all of his abilities. He should die, I think. So easy should just be able to kill him.
Probably. We're going to go for a Death Realm to try to get some stats to outplay this one. He does actually get away from that Q. He's up on side. He's going to come on the top lane. Meanwhile, the Crow Storm in bot side as they crack the Magnet Storm onto 2 as well from Kotis. They easily take down Amp, but Haman Karn in trouble now as well. Fiddlesticks is going to get taken down by the Wukong. R2 from Yangu, but the flip back from Kotis. The flash away for the Wukong will barely stay alive. Ends up being a 1-for-1 in that bot lane. Meanwhile, trade of ultimates between the top laners. Kleos did find a way to survive.
Yeah. And is gonna make this reset out with his life. You know, so easy. While they are picking up this minion wave, has been able to kind of hold on. They're only down a wave or 2 right now. Is very, very close to that Hollow Radiance point. Has the Sunfire Cape finished now, and we see it is this the Rylai's going in for Kleos here, which normally I'm a really big fan of, but if you're behind, I think this item is a complete bait as Mordekaiser. That the only reason you want this is sticking power and to be able to stay on top of someone, and I don't think you want to stay on top of so easy right now.
What would you like to see instead?
Just rush towards
Amp is maybe dead here. There's the scatter, and some power is about to be unleashed. And actually, Kotis ending up with the last hit on that one. 2 kills now on the Rel is not necessarily optimal, especially with Syndra using the ultimate there, but that's all right. That is just in time for the Dragon spawn. As what were you going to say about the Mordekaiser builds?
I really wanted to see them go towards the drain item. They
Riftmaker? No.
Yes.
Yes, Riftmaker. Ah.
Riftmaker.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, definitely would have given you the the extra health still, which is really nice for the Mordekaiser. Maybe he'll end up going at second. So you see the Dragon started up now by Mr. Karn. And the Wukong not on that side of the map right now. Looks like this is going to be the double Dragon given over to the Kingdom.
Yeah. Don't think Jinx should get anything after this. There's no one around to kind of run at towards with this get excited bonus that you get. Koopa just going to be happy to get that extra Legend Bloodline stack or whatever it is they're running. Fun fact, all you AD carry mains out here, you should hit Dragon because it gives you a stack of your Legend no matter what. Full one. Yeah. So go hit that neutral objective before it dies. Leash your jungler, kids.
Thank you for that, Storm. I do support this message. We do have a Mountain Soul this game, which, you know, and there's also a Scion. And the Scion's team, Storm, got the first 2 dragons. So, concern for the XSV fans, I think, growing by the minute here.
Yeah, but as the XSV fans, the enemy team can't get 4 Mountain Dragon Scions. You got that win going for you.
True. That lining is extremely silver.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that as well.
Okay.
We'll see. Oh, go ahead.
But item spikes that actually matter, like things that are important. Wukong has Trinity Force, is level 9. Corki, also level 9, also has Trinity Force. Should be able to start trading more effectively here and get something done. Orianna, I believe, also is going to be able to get this reset pretty soon here. So they are like on parity for when this Herald spawns to try to make some sort of fight and make a play happen. But
right now they're looking for a lane gank here in bot lane.
Yeah.
Haman Karn nowhere near at the moment. The wave is going to bounce back out. We'll see if Koopa is going to end up walking forward into the waiting staff of the Wukong.
They're pinging onto this.
That's
Koopa's
really
got to know.
respectable. Oh, they had the perfect read for the side of Iceborn. And so easy, going to get this Demolish proc on the top tower. Very close to securing the first break up there now. Just needs, like, pretty much one more Demolish proc would do it.
Yep. And Syndra also has this Blackfire Torch done as well, which just means she has so much wave push now. I still hate this build, by the way. If it is the normal Syndra build, I think it's stupid, but it does work. So, both of them that people have done the math on this. And you see Kleos is getting these trades with so easy, but isn't really winning. Nothing's really coming from it. Does have the lane prow right now. But I want to see so easy. Just take these short trades, try and get these W shield breaks like he has been. And Wukong on the Herald right now. While we see his bot side jungle getting taken away by Haman Karn.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough for Iceborn. We're not really too concerned about the Rift Herald. Getting some extra gold on their fiddlesticks, I think, is somewhat worthwhile. I don't mind this choice. And obviously, as you just mentioned, Kleos is starting to get some priority up there, actually, in the matchup, so it might be a difficult Herald contest. They're also going to get this bot tier 1, it looks like. That is going to be the first turret of the game, which I believe does give feats over to Iceborn.
Yep, there's new shoes on these feet. So, feats have been secured.
90 seconds now on the Dragon. That is the big objective to fight over. Talk to me about the setup.
Yeah, so we gotta have Scion be able to be here early, right? You can't just have him sticking in lane against this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser can just kind of stonewall him, has the ability to cancel teleport with his E, can ult him as well to kind of deny or get in front of him. So I think Kleos needs to kind of try to make sure that Scion is sticking around in the top side so that his team can win. But for Iceborn, it's all about just trying to make sure that they are able to get on top of Koopa or OTF. Find out where Hamon Karn is. Make sure you're not getting feared by this Fiddlesticks when you're going in. And make sure you can get a really big like poke situation with Orianna ult, I think, and then Corky's rockets and stuff like that. And then just make sure that Hamon Karn doesn't kill you all. Because that's the really scary thing, is Fiddlesticks has flash ult, so he can come from some multiple different directions and get some really huge combos on your team.
I mean, the burden of engage is going to rely entirely on this Wukong, so sounds like it's going to be a lot of pressure on Yangu in this upcoming fight. Needs to find a good ultimate onto at least one of these carries, ideally get 2 of the carries, with the Fiddlesticks, the Syndra, and the Jinx all going to be posing significant damage threats. We'll see. It looks like Iceborn Kingdom are going to be first into the river. Dragon spawning 10 seconds away now. They have the control. See the Syndra moving up as well. The top laners are just hitting each other in the top lane for now. So Easy is doing a lot more of the receiving of the hits.
Yeah.
And it's very low on mana as well. So Kleos, teleport down here could be really impactful. The Herald is going to be summoned up in mid. That is going to destroy this mid-tier 1 for the side of XSV, but this Dragon might already be gone. What is the Dragon's health at right now? In comes XSV. The Dragon not been finished off just yet. It's still about half, so turns out that Herald into the teleport in of the Mordekaiser.
Okay, I like this. They're backing up.
In comes the Scion as well, though. Suizy on the flank angle, trying to close the door on him, but they could just focus him down. The Aqua Prison a little bit too early. The S-Grasp not going to land either. And now the Dragon has been snuck away by Iceborn. And now the engage comes up from Potus.
Look at the
onslaught.
Oh, it's so
big! Is massive as well. Malin's trying to run the shockwave. Really nice to pull back those members. And it looks like the Orianna will survive. The rail does get traded back by Kleos, but that is indeed a very thin, a very silver lining on a very dark cloud as Iceborn rule the Rift here in Game 2.
Yeah, and it's just, these teams can't play from behind, it appears. They are just getting absolutely run over right now, Justice is, and I don't know if they have a way back into this game, right? That their team is very indexed towards this early game kind of skirmish and 5v5.
Yeah, that was their fight.
Yeah, that was the fight they had to win. And with that fight only basically giving them 1 kill, I think this one might be over and we might be heading to a... I don't know if we have a Silver Scrapes equivalent here in BOL, especially not when it's only a game 3, but I think we're heading to game 3.
I agree. I think that is where we're going after that fight. It's a really great spot for Iceborn at this point. And we already said, it feels like they have the stronger scaling draft as well. I think XSV, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to say what they should have done in that situation, but I do think that they perhaps respected the Scion teleport a little bit too much. Like, clearly the call was they identified that Soeasy was coming in on that flank position, and the call for XSV was, okay, let's just collapse on the Scion. He's going to be isolated here on the side. But they just gave up complete control over the Dragon Pit. They just allowed Iceborn Kingdom to walk in there and take the objective while the Scion was just running interference for everybody. And I think, it was... after everything that happened after the Dragon went over, honestly, is just like extra in my eyes. Like the fact that Kodas found that really nice engage and so easy, found that really nice follow-up, obviously was even more devastating for XSV. But I think that call to pivot away from the objective was maybe where it went wrong in my eyes.
I kind of liked, to be honest with you, that initial call to get off of the objective because it meant that
Okay.
Fiddlesticks was no longer able to ult them, right? Because we saw Homenkarn on the outside of that dragon pit. So when they were starting to leash that dragon, it meant that they could have gotten the flash ult. They could have gotten ult flash comboed and had
True,
like
yeah.
3 or 4 man fear.
Well,
But
we're gonna start up the new
definitely-
guy right now, temporarily,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna back away. You were saying?
I was gonna kind of say I don't think that this is any real sort of contest towards new guy. I think he's just gonna be up here for a while. I'm just
Iceborn
really
Kingdom do not have to force anything. They have all the time in the world at this point. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. But OTF is fine.
Got a blast
Gonna
going.
get that shove away onto Yengu.
Cyclone on cooldown there. Yeah, that was a really nice scatter from OTF to get away from that Whoop ultimate. Top tier 1 gonna fall. Gold lead up to about 5K.
I keep getting baited by these fiddlestick savages. I was like, what is Homenkarn doing in bot lane? That's not him.
No, it is not. He is, in fact, up here in the top lane. I believe
Pretending to be an
undetected
effigy.
in
Yes.
the lane there. And XSV, they are feeling the pressure, right? They're thinking like, we need to find a winning fight like yesterday to try to get a little bit of a foothold in this game, but they're not feeling bold enough to really aggressively set up around this Otacon. So it looks like it is going to come down to the next dragon. We're already just a minute away from it here, Storm. Interesting to see, though, Iceborn Kingdom kind of resetting back out onto the top side again here.
Yeah, I mean they can trade and take new guy instead of taking
They
this
could.
dragon, right? They don't have to take a 5v5 and necessarily flip this. I mean, it's not much of a flip here. This is a pretty easy non-stick pan like omelet flip here.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say though, I think you prefer the Mountain Soul over the Otacon. I think the Mountain Soul is a game-ending buff.
Yeah.
Whereas the Otacon feels really good, is really nice to get, but I don't think it's quite game-ending. I wouldn't put it on the same level as the Mountain Soul.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just the big thing is your Corki is not at a power spike right now, right? He hasn't gotten to his Muramana yet. So I really don't think you can take this fight. I think it's one of those things that you should just try and take. You should just try and have Wukong randomly smite steal this, and you should have your team hitting top line buff and going for Atacon.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, that could be an option. Dragon alive now, started up by Iceborn. XSV in position to fight for it. They find the Scion in the bush. So easy getting jumped on. Holding on to the ultimate and the flash for now. Chompers down onto the Mordekaiser. OTF on the flank position. Scatter not going to land. In goes Kodas. Finds the engage onto 2. In comes the Scion over the top. And then Crowstorm. And the team fight is already over. Iceborn Kingdom are going to clean him up one more time. Koopa trapped in the Death Realm. That is going to be 1 back for Kleos. But again, that is all that the Mordekaiser is going to get. Malans has already used the Shockwave. There's nothing the solo laners can do. It is going to be another 4 for 1. Iceborn Kingdom, they get the fight. They get the Mountain Soul. They're going to take the game.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to figure that it's all over but the crying. You're going to get Mountain Soul. We're going to transition this into a new guy take. The enemy team has 1 turret left in the mid lane. Like, this one is so over, and I think it's really got to be credit to Homenkarn there on the Fiddlesticks. I feel like is my kind of thought for this early MVP. Had that really great gank early that we were talking, Fiddlesticks is all about this, scaling and just trying to cycle as hard as he can, and, got a lot done early, I think is fair to say.
Yeah, absolutely. A credit to Haman for kind of subverting those expectations. Obviously, XSV were not expecting the Fiddlesticks to go for that early gank either. It was in the mid lane. It caught Mullins completely off guard. And yeah, that was the beginning, right? That was the beginning of Iceborn getting that early lead that they were able to transition so effectively into taking all of these objectives. And now, XSV, they would need a miracle to come back into this one. This game should be over. I was maybe a bit premature with my call saying that it is over. Obviously, that's not literally true, but it
Yeah.
should be over.
Yeah.
We'll see how Iceborn are going to be able to close things out from here. As in come XSV, trying to posture aggressively, but fighting into all 5 members of Iceborn does feel like a pretty tall order. Otacon now, Ben started up so easy, trying to play bodyguard. Yangu could potentially get in here, though, with the W. They were looking for the turn. They were looking for the turn all along. Immediately, the Orianna is going to get destroyed. Yangu forced to try to go in, does manage to get on top of the Jinx, but he was all alone, could not finish off Koopa by himself. And that is the mid-jungle down for XSV, and nothing more that they can do about this Otacon being taken. And honestly, it should be the Baron afterwards as well. My last question, Storm, is are Iceborn going to be able to end this game before 30 minutes?
I'm gonna go with no, because I think it takes them like at least 30 or 40 seconds here to kill this Baron. So that's gonna take us to 27, and I don't think they can quite end with this Baron push.
Yeah, that is the question.
Yeah, I just think there's too much like standing gold on the map right there. Both of these top tier inners are available to take and everything like that. I think that's more going to be what they look for. You can already see the pings coming down towards that bot lane tier 2 there. So I think that's more what they're going to be looking for, is taking, inhib mid both these tier 2 towers. That's what I think they're going to do with this Baron, and then transition that into their Elder Dragon.
Fair enough. Or they could just win another team fight. And, XSV wouldn't be able to defend if they were all in the death chamber, so.
Yeah, I feel like they can just randomly run down mid and end the game. But GLaDOS looks like they're going to die up in this top lane. They were looking for this top lane tower here, trying to get a bounty. And now there's 4 people converging onto him. Yeah,
that is looking like a pretty dead Mordekaiser on my screen. He's not even going to go for the ultimate. Just going to... actually, he is going to go for the ultimate. Onto the Scion. And so easy is going to be like, cool story, bro. Just ult him in the... Or I guess that was just a Q, actually, yeah. From the Scion.
Hey, but they got a bounty mid.
They did. For XSV, so, I mean, not bad. And now are they going to be able to retreat in time and defend against the push coming out here in the top lane? The tier 2 is going to be exchanged. Kodis is going to stop some recalls, going to be able to crash away from a potential counter engage.
Yeah, but they're pushing to end, it looks like.
Yeah, the inhibitor line is going to be broken. Top inhib will fall. Iceborn Kingdom. How much more can they get? The recalls are starting to come out now, but Kodis looking to cancel them once again. And is going to be successful in doing so. OTF flashes away from the Aqua Prison, finds the scatter onto Amp. Yango goes in with the Cycle and Nexus turrets are being taken as we speak. At least Monaxia and Kleos have managed to get back to the base, but that means that the remaining members are going to be sacrificed here at the bottom side of the map. Yangu trying to run the flash in for the Wukong. Finishes off, or the Fiddlesticks rather, finishes off the Wukong. Amp is going to go for a cute flash to try to play some mind games there, and is swimming away as fast as his fishy little tail can carry him, and it's not going to be fast enough. There's the fear, and they're even going to delay the death a little bit. Meanwhile, the other Iceborn members were not able to end the game. Both Nexus turrets have been taken, but the Corki and the Mordekaiser are getting back to base. We'll save the game for now. It looks like we are going past 30, Storm.
Yeah, it appears so. We do see Elder Dragon is coming up in a minute. The next super buff is spawning soon, and I'm imagining that there's going to be another fight over this, because it's just one of those things that if the enemy team gets it, the game's as good as over. I'm hoping we just see Yangu just randomly try and flip and take it, just with some sort of W over the wall play.
I mean, that's the only play at this point for XSV, I think.
Yeah, they have no flash on their jungler either, which makes it even harder, but that's it. That's the only way you can win this one.
Yeah, and I imagine Iceborn are going to get some pretty good control of... I mean, we already see it, just so much vision in this jungle. They're going to see that Wukong coming a mile away. And looking for a little bit of a skirmish at the moment, trying to pressure this bot tier 2. But the Baron has dissipated, and that wave is going to be cleared out. by XSV as they try to force their way into the jungle now. We do see Iceborn have given up a little bit of space.
Yeah. I mean, they just need to now wait and buy time for this top lane super minion wave to start stacking up and get 2 or 3 of those going. They don't need to start hitting this objective whatsoever. I mean, we also see Sion is getting mid lane pressure.
Yeah.
This looks like the opposite of last game almost.
Another nice scatter for OTF, and then Mordekaiser is just gone. Just deleted from the Rift. Amp is going to be next, as that Jinx is very strong as well. Another scatter going to land for OTF. The double kill for the Jinx, as the Monaxia is just trying to tie to a tower.
Yeah.
And does get a minion wave in the meanwhile. And meanwhile, the game is over. So Easy's already on the Nexus. And that is going to be it. So they did last past 30 minutes, but only 4 kills and 3 grubs and 2 towers in this game for XSV Justice. Iceborn Kingdom immediately able to turn things around from that game number 1. And we are going to the decider.
Yes, we can see from this game, red side is OP, guys. Should play for counterpick. It means you're going to win the game in like under 30 minutes and with like triple the enemy kills if this series is an indication.
Yeah. You know, you were calling out earlier about halfway through this game that you were eyeballing Haman Karn for a potential POG vote.
Yeah.
Everybody on the side of Iceborn, I think, played quite well in this game number 2. You know, I do think a case should probably be made for SoEZ in that top lane. You know, it's his turn for the 0 death top lane performance on the Scion. Although maybe we can fault him for not utilizing the Scion passive. Does that go in the cons column?
Yeah, I mean, you could have just at least executed and taken some CS with it. That's a major loss of tempo, man. There, you didn't have any good deaths. That's got to be a negative. Scion KDA deserves to be like 1.0. So I think that's ruling SoEZ out from this top lane POG. I still think Hamon deserves it. I think you could make like an argument as well for pretty much anybody. I mean, OTF had some really great scatters and had some ult landing that would killed a lot of people. Codis on this rel had some monstrous engages and just kept being able to find fights for their team as well. So they deserve a shout out. But yeah, I think it goes to Haman Karn there. They played Fiddle really well. They landed some really big ults. They got the big fears. They got the early ganks even, and they kept up and farm with Wukong.
Well, you know me, Storm. You know, I'm never really going to disagree with a jungle POG vote. But, you know, personally, my instinct actually is to go towards 6-7, a.k.a. Codis, for this one. You know, it does tie his AD carry, who also had a great game for highest kill participation in this one, and the Rel being, you know, the primary engage. We saw it multiple times, right, where Codis went in first and kind of set up SoEZ and Haman to come in for the follow-up engage. So that's, you know, I do give a little bit of extra credit to the Rel there. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't mind the Fiddlesticks POG vote either. Everybody on Iceborn played well in this second game. And, you know, the fact that Haman found that early gank as well, I think is definitely an argument in his favor for picking up the POG on the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, they're my initial thought. That's who I think I would give it to. So I'm going to say POG for Haman Karn.
And now we kind of have to turn our attention towards this last game, the last game of Swiss for both of these teams. Gonna have to leave it all on the table. Before we go to break, Storm, you know, I assume we're probably expecting XSV to elect to move back over to the red side, right? Any other expectations you want to set up for us?
I don't think so. I feel like there's a lot of picks that are still like pretty big in this series. Like, you know, Sivir's available for those Sivir comps. There's all of like most of the AD carry pool I feel like is pretty wide open, right? The only things kind of missing is Ashe and Jinx, I think, as far as like the really, you know, kind of really strong picks. The only thing I'm gonna kind of also bring out there is we do have some typing going on that looks like XSV Envy was able to take a 2-0 over Conduit Phoenix tonight. So they're going to be moving on as well to the upper bracket here.
I believe that is 6 games in a row for XSV Envy, if I'm not mistaken. They were just tore through that that bottom half of the bracket. So they are looking really strong heading into the postseason. That'll be interesting to see who they're going to get in the first round. As I don't know if I mentioned it already, we are going to have the draw show later, I believe, for the quarterfinals after this match. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get into the break storm. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes for that Game 3 draft. Don't miss it. All right, everyone, welcome back. We are now getting into game number 3. XSV have indeed gone over to the red side. Let's see who is going to end up taking it. We had a couple of one-sided victories going in either direction so far tonight, Storm. I personally would love a nice competitive one to round things out. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we always want to see our last game of the series be one that's very interesting and has a lot of back and forth. I think that's always the best League of Legends to have. You know, the World Finals this year was exciting because it was a best of 5 and it went the full 5 games. But, you know, actually watching those games, there was kind of 5 stomps, is how I felt, right? So I'm really hoping we get a really close back and forth. Hoping we get something good, but I believe we are most of the way through draft. We are starting to get through draft here. The first phase bans are here, and there's a Draven ban from Iceborn.
A lot of respect being shown towards Monaxia. The Yanara obviously being taken away there as well, and then still a little bit of 6-7 focus coming out from Justice. It's taking away that Nico as well as the Braum. Volibear first pick is a little bit surprising, maybe, but it's a fairly blindable jungle, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine in the jungle. I think it's fine in the top lane. Like, I don't think he's like necessarily top tier in either role, but like he's good enough at both that he's still worth picking. I hoping that this is some sort of flex pick. Otherwise, I think this is a pretty weak early jungle pick. I like Amumu a lot. Kaisa with it is a kind of a classic pairing. Have some dive potential, have some CC, have some team fight power. I'm a fairly big Kaisa fan. Just kind of like the way that she makes your team kind of play around her. I think she kind of warps games, so I think she's strong. I think Sivir is a pretty high consideration right now. I want to say is pretty good into like the Amumu. Is really great with Volibear. Is good in lane against Kaisa. I think that should probably be the pick here for Iceborn. Oh, instead Misfortune.
Okay, I mean,
all right.
both options would be good for team fights, right? The Misfortune does require a little bit more setup, which they are going to take in the form of the Alistar. So now let's see what Justice want to answer with. Ooh, the Silas.
Those are some nasty alts to steal.
Yeah. Yeah, Silas Jungle has been actually kind of stupid strong recently. I've been losing all of my games against Silas Jungle. Just feels like as soon as he gets a couple of kills, the champion just does such a stupid amount of damage, and his cooldowns are so low. But obviously, it's probably not going to be the Sylas jungle in this case, given that they already have the Amumu. So likely going into the mid lane there for Mullins.
Yeah, almost assuredly. Amumu support is not a real pick, and you cannot convince me that it is. So I'm almost certain that this should be mid lane. It would make sense if they're picking it on 3 here before it has a chance to get banned away. Although I'm not certain that Iceborn would have banned it. Because I feel like the only like broken ult they have to steal for Sylas so far is like Alistair. I mean, MF ult is really good. I guess you can kind of steal the Curse of the Sad bullet time or whatever, right? Get that combo going, that your Mumu ults, and then you steal MF ult and get that combo going.
Yeah. Definitely feels like a nice pick here for Justice. But
Yeah.
Mullins, honestly, Mullins did have a really nice game in, game number 1 was on the Morgana, right? Where actually suffered in
Yeah.
lane. So yeah, it's been a couple of rough laning phases actually for Mullins. Does feel like maybe that is a little bit of a dangerous direction to go in just for that reason. But certainly, I think the Sylas is a strong pick in this situation. Through the second ban phase now, the Ornn and the Rakan, some really strong engage options going to be removed by Iceborn. Meanwhile, Justice is going to ban away a couple of options that they wouldn't want to play into with the Sylas here. The Yone and the Mel going to get taken away. Maokai being considered. This would be a crazy amount of CC and set up for your Kaisa. If this does get locked in.
Yeah, but they have no damage if they... I mean, I guess they're just... Well, they're okay. It's top lane counterpick. There's got to be some sort of 80 fighter champion coming out here on like 5, right? Like we're picking Darius or something along those lines. It has to be, because this team has like 0 damage basically, right? Kaisa is not really like a very damage focused ADC. A lot more kind of towards the utility and kind of that one-on-one thing isn't going to like carry a team fight. Sylas kind of the same way, that they're more about like the ults and the setup, I feel is almost fair to say. Victor here I think is a really, really good answer. Being able to have that safety of like the W set down, get some zone control, the ability to chain CC with your target with Volibear and Alistair. Doesn't have like the most amazing ult to steal either. Doesn't hurt for Sylas. Man, it's like if Iceborn had, if these mid laners swapped, it would be such a good Sylas game. And Mundo gonna be the pick here.
Interesting. So they're holding a double flex right now between the Mundo and the Volibear.
Yeah, that's true. That's not what you're gonna pick.
Surely
So
that's not real. Oh, they're gonna take the Sylas top, maybe. I think that's what they're considering right now.
That sounds like
They want something else into the Victor, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. They're just trolling us. Oh my god, they locked Akali.
I mean, technically, these are both flexible champions as well. Sylas and Akali can both go either mid or top. I wonder what matchups Justice are looking for here. Do they want the Akali? They probably want the Akali into the Victor, right? I assume.
I would assume so. I feel like Akali is terrible into tanks, right?
Yeah.
That has been my general rule of thumb of when I play against her is I go, okay, I'm gonna build Hollow Radiance, and now you can't ever kill me and hurt me. It's like when you're playing against Galio and you're Akali, right? You just feel like you can't play the game. You just get CC'd whenever you try and do anything, and it's like you don't have the damage to kill Ornn, or sorry, to kill this Volibear if it's top lane or if it's Mundo top lane either. Like, I can't imagine the trading pattern as Akali. Maybe you're just able to whittle down Volibear with Q if it's something like that, but I feel like Mundo top lane just like it kind of ignores you and just throws cleaver at you in the shroud and just farms.
Yeah. I mean, I will say you were calling for more damage on the side of Justice with this R5 pick. They definitely have gone for damage. So
yeah,
they
for
are
sure.
Extremely AP heavy. Their only physical damage in the entire composition is Kaisa, and even Kaisa is hybrid, and you're going up against 3 tanks over here on the other side. So that's pretty concerning for me. I guess like either or perhaps both Amumu and Maokai could potentially go for the Abyssal Mask. right? Which would help a little bit, but
Yeah, and Amumu has like the passive despair magic shred as well, which will help his team. But like, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those games where if Mundo utilizes correct building things, like if this is Mundo top lane, like I'm assuming, and we build instead of Hearthsteel and Warmogs, we just build a Spirit Visage. Hear me out here. Just build an MR item. Like instead of just going for like the auto like push build, just play for team fight. Like play the Mundo build of like 2 seasons ago, and I'm pretty sure you can't die. If you have like if you go just 2 MR items straight up, I'm pretty sure you are like literally unkillable.
like imagine Spirit Visage into Kanik Rooker in here.
Yeah, or
Just
like
has
Hollow
so much
Radiant
health and
Spirit
MR.
or Hollow Radiant
yeah.
Spirit Visage or Canic Rookern or anything like that. It's just like literally who on Justice kills you at that point. So
Nobody.
yeah, I feel like this Mundo pick is just like turbo into this team. I don't think they have an answer into it. And I think the scaling's really on Iceborn's side because it means they're able to get to the point that Volibear is going to have $1 million. Because I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of variation of that build. I don't think this is going to be like the tank rush Volibear where you're going like Frozen Fist, because Frozen Fist sucks this game. There's no one you want to build it into. This is the Cosmic Drive game is Volibear for sure. So
Yeah.
But Justice does have a lot, right? They have so much CC. It's like if MF is ever like on their screen, she should die. Because the only peel she basically has is Alistair. I don't think Volibear is trying to peel for this champion. Victor W, I don't think is going to deter the likes of Kaisa, Mumu, and Silas, and Akali. So I feel like it's going to be super hard for this MF to be anywhere on the screen like ever, that she basically has to be standing back and being like doing her best Jin cosplay and just being like, I'm just going to threaten ult to kill people when you commit and engage onto someone else on my team. They have all of the damage tools to like kill off Victor and things like that. And it's like if they can kill Victor or MF, the damage for Iceborn falls off a cliff, right? It's so bad if one of those two is not alive and able to do TPS. So for Justice, it is, that simple. Kill one of the carries, and you should be able to win the fight like out. Silas should eventually be able to like cycle through enough spells and get enough damage to kill people. You should be able to do max health damage to Mundo, not through your own team's like, damage profile, by just constantly hitting his passive over and over again. You have W from Maokai, you have Q from Maokai, you have a Mumu to proc it. But I don't know how this laning phase is going to go. I think it's going to be really interesting to see for Envy. I don't think they have any push in any of their lanes, right? I don't know how they're going to be able to contest towards the first dragon or anything like that. So that's my concern for them.
Yeah, I think Justice are really going to be hurting for Prio this game, most likely. Although we have been wrong about that before. I mean, we were expecting Mordekaiser to have early Prio last game, right? That didn't happen. So we'll have to see how it goes. And I think you made a lot of great points there. For the side of Iceborn Kingdom, they really do have basically just the Alistar as far as engage and set up CC. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on 6-7, aka Codus, in this game, I think. But had a great game last time around on the Rel, right? Was phenomenal on the Rel. So on engage again here, I think it makes sense. And, if he finds a good combo onto multiple members, then that could be all that Victor and MF need to just kind of insta-win the fight. So we'll see if 6-7 is going to be able to continue to find those angles. And obviously, for the side of Justice, I mean, you just called it out. It's a lot of pressure on the Akali as well as the Silas. They need to take out either the Victor or the MF at the beginning of these fights. If Victor and MF are allowed to live and get out their full combos, then you're just not winning as the side of XSV here. So definitely feels like they are taking kind of the riskier end of this draft, the riskier side of this draft. And it's going to be a lot of pressure, I think, on the solo laners here for the side of XSV to actually find the angles in these fights to assassinate the carries before it's too late.
Yeah, pretty apt way to put it. We'll have to see if XSV is able to take these Soul Lane dominance and get this game 3 victory. Remember, guys, the winner of this match is advancing to the upper bracket. The loser is going down into that lower bracket. So there is a lot on the line here. This isn't just some random week 4 matchup or week 5 matchup. This is playoffs right here, right now.
That's right. And
And
it's not like a traditional lower bracket where it's like, oh,
yeah,
you can like grind and fight your way back up to the finals if you just make the run through. No, like this is a consolation bracket. Like this game,
yeah,
it all comes down to this game. You are either top 8 for this season or you are bottom 8. Like that's it. Like you're either competing for the trophy, fighting through, the playoffs, or you are done. You're the consolation bracket. You're just trying to get your money back at that point. So everything on the line here in this last game, we were just hearing from Monaxia earlier how much it means to him and the rest of the team. They worked really hard this season he was talking about, and they really want to be able to show it. They have a very interesting draft here for this third game, for this deciding game. And if they end up taking it, I think it is going to come down to mastery and them out executing. So that's what it comes down to see if they can do that, if they can make that happen. For the side of Iceborn, the favorites coming in tonight, they had some really tough opponents in rounds 3 and 4. And we've been a little bit worried that maybe the mental had taken too much of a beating, that they weren't going to be able to rally back in this last chance in this 2-2 bracket. But they took that decisive win in game number 2, and now they just need one more to get themselves into those playoffs. Anything else before we break, Storm?
no, I'm just really excited. I hope this game's really close. I believe in you, XSV Justice. Viva la Revolution. Down with the kingdom.
We'll see if they can make it happen, guys. Into the break and then on to the Rift for our last game of the Swiss stage. All right, everybody, here we go. The last game of Swiss. Iceborn Kingdom back on the blue side, their original selection tonight. And XSV Justice back on red, where they were able to take that victory in game number 1. Looking for level 1 now. On the side of XSV, there is a nice war down in the tri-brush for Iceborn. So we're going to see this coming. And XSV not really going to find anything. Any interesting decisions in the loadouts this time, Storm?
I don't think so, really. It is Silas top lane. It looks like up against the Mundo here for Kleos,
Right.
which we were kind of talking about that we think we wanted the Akali to be laning against OTF here. OTF is going for a bit more of that defensive thing that they are taking the summon Aerie, so I'm guessing this is going to be like the Q start and like get 2 or 3 points into it on Silas mid here. Lethal Temple and Volibear. It is probably this I must have $1 million build, as I like to call it, of the need everything. So I don't think there's anything all that interesting. Heal on the Alistair, I think, for 6-7 is kind of odd here. Koopa, I think, definitely taking cleanse was correct, but I'm not sure that heal's going to do very much. I feel like you really wanted exhaust just to be able to deal with this Akali or this Silas as they're jumping in. Even Kaisa, I think it's pretty good in against, but that's about the only like summoner spell I think that's a really odd choice.
Well, as far as our junglers are concerned, we did see some deep vision exchanged once again here. Obviously, XSV were able to get some wards down in that bottom side jungle, while Haman Karn was able to get that ward down on the Raptors, the top side Raptors of Yengu. Oh, so he's down a little bit low in this top lane. Not able to find the briefcase onto the Silas. So both top laners trading aggressively, but holding on to those flashes for now. And, ooh, look at this. Yengu is actually making an early move towards that top lane. See if the Amumu is going to be able to find something here. So he's very far up in the lane right now. The bandage toss is going to land. And that should be a dead Mundo. He tries to flash away, but the Q2 is always going to be there for the Amumu. And that is going to be first blood on the Silas top for Kleos and for Justice.
Yeah, I feel like that should be a pretty big window for them to be able to play through that lane. Has kind of the CC that can follow up with this Amumu. I think that's their best bet for these looks here. Be interesting to see, though, if Haman Karn, with this extra time that he's been given, is going to be able to get anything done. If this is going to be just the double scuttle for them towards this jungle, or if there's going to be some sort of... I doubt there's any sort of bot lane player invade, so... I think it's just going to be this double scuttle here. Is that worth it at all, or is Mundo going to be able to deny it? Does get the ward down on it.
Oh, it's like this bottom crab actually taken away by Haman Karn. Volibear, very strong skirmisher early, pushes out the Amumu. And now is going to be able to move up towards that top scuttle, so it will be the double scuttle for Mr. Karn.
Yeah.
On the Volibear. But still, I think worthwhile for Yengu to go for that early gank, get Silas ahead. I think that he's still
and we're invading enemy raptors as well, right? For Haman Karn there, and that is the respawn. So that is like a pretty sizable amount of EXP and gold that they are gaining for killing these. You think he's going to keep counter jungling here and look for these Krugs after, or is he just going to go back to his... Okay, just going back to his own camps.
Yeah, but still, that is going to be a nice, about a 3-camp lead for the Volibear.
Yeah.
Malins is doing a pretty good job of weathering the storm in this mid lane. That's the weakest part of the game for the Akali is pre-6 before she has the kill threat. But doing a decent job of farming it up, staying even with the Victor in CS for now. Oh, so easy going down low in the top lane. It's Kleos really starting to put on the pressure with the blasting wand already. He is doing quite a bit of damage. So easy, this could be dangerous now on the bounce back. The jungler up here right now, but I'm on Karn.
I think he's just
clear back down.
I think he's just going to reset here. I mean, there's no way Kleos isn't just like freezing this wave here top lane, right? You're just getting it to push back into you.
Both top laners have used the teleport already, and yeah, so easy, can't walk up. The Mundo just has to hug the tower. He's not even going to go for the reset either. He's just trying to farm with Q, it looks like.
Yeah, and we see both junglers conglomerating right now towards these Krugs. I think there might be some sort of advantage or some sort of fight breaking out here. No, just looks like Yangu sees that Volibear is level 5, decides that he needs to not fight that, and is going to walk towards bot lane to cover them on any sort of play here.
Yeah. And that jungle CS differential is building for Haman Karn. Significantly far ahead now. He's going to have level 6 before Yangu maybe even has level 5 on this Amumu. There it is, level 6 for the Volibear.
No.
So Haman Karn extremely strong right now, but is just going to go for another reset. While we're going to see a dragon start for Yangu, I guess because the bot lane of Iceborn was on a reset. So, you know, obviously Haman Karn can't really walk in there by himself, but this feels like potentially a bit of a blunder with like that massive lead you had in the jungle matchup, but not going to get the early objective.
Yeah, and that's some pretty major EXP catch-up that's going to be achieved there for Yangu as they had that full level down. Kleos just continuing to take this freeze so easy. He's just kind of like, all right, I'm going to reset, and he's going to come back top lane with ult now, so he can take a really bad trade to get this back, but Yangu
Karn going to look to potentially fight the Amumu here. The flash away does have to come out for Yangu. Surviving on a sliver of health. In comes the Akali. Going to go for the perfect execution. The R2, though, I mean, that's a very healthy Volibear still. And so Mullins will just be there to defend the Raptor camp, which Yangu will take in the end.
Okay. Let's see what 6-7.
Minion. Okay. 6-7 in the mid lane.
Yeah, I just feel like if something was going to happen here, but no, it's just the supports trying to get their mid laners a push out here and just covering each other. Nothing really happening. Do want to mention that it is 2 ADCs down here in the bot lane fighting to the death, maybe, and that can favor Misfortune because you could just stand there and press R, and generally the other ADC dies because that out DPSs everything, and most AD carries don't have a way to stop it. But Kaisa does have Killer Instinct to reposition and get maybe out of the bullet time, so probably not going to be any sort of solo killer fireworks down here for Koopa.
The catch-up jungle XP in full effect right now for Yangu. Just ticked over to level 6 after the red buff, just in time for the grub spawn as well. XSV Justice looking for their second early neutral. And they're going to find 6-7 here. The Alistar still only level 5. Is going to be able to get back next to the mid laner. But all 3 grubs immediately going to be taken by Yangu. That is a big win for Justice. They're going to get another neutral uncontested.
Yeah, I feel like that's a huge win for them because, right, we were talking about that there's a lot of scale. Oh, that is a very interesting bullet time from Koopa, I guess. Really needs it this tempo.
Maokai was coming in first for the collapse on the bot lane. So Koopa realizing he just needed to get that wave pushed out so he could reset. And there's probably not going to be a fight in the immediate future where he's going to need that ultimate. So really like that call.
Yep. As far as item builds kind of going through it, Armando is building towards those kind of standardized Hearthsteel, Warmogs things. Silas going for this Catalyst in the top lane, going towards Rod of Ages, which I think is pretty good on him. Silas is one of the champions in the game that gains the most stats per level out of like anyone. Just like base MR, armor, all those things. He gets so much from level up, so I really like that item on him. I love to see it. I think this is Trinity Force Volibear, which is kind of exciting to see. I haven't seen that in a very long time.
Yeah, the changes they made to the Volibear recently, right? They tapped down the damage from So Easy, getting traded on. Maximum dosage is going to come out for the Mundo. It's the stolen ultimate available for Kleos, but not going to pop that one just yet. So another decisive victory in that exchange for the Silas. And So Easy just trying to survive it. Here comes the Maokai ultimate, Nature's Grasp. does get the CC. In comes Kleos, and they're going to be able to knock down the Mundo. That is going to be a lot of golden XP denied now for the Iceborn top laner. Meanwhile, 6-7 very far forward. Headbutts the Amumu. Yango in a bit of a tough spot now. Goes for the ultimate. 6-7 flashes away, barely survives. And they take down the Amumu. Kill number 1 for Haman. A decent trade back for the side of Iceborn, but their top laner is in the dirt right now.
Yeah, I mean, at least you had this TP to get back to lane so that you're not getting, like, even
in
more
goes
than
the Kaisa. Monaxios found the tag onto Haman. The Volibear flashes away and will survive. Monaxia did have to burn the flash there as well. Very close call.
Yeah, I think Hollenkarn lived because of his that shield coming down from the Sky Splitter, right? I think that was the only way. Otherwise, that passive damage from Kaisa would have been able to go through enough and get that kill. But that's now an ADC without flash, and that's a pretty big target now, especially with these tanks on the other side. That might be who you're looking for to kill.
Absolutely right. Yeah, the Volibear does have the Trinity Force done now. But yeah, not particularly tanky with this Trinity Force rush. And yeah, Volibear actually does have some pretty low base stats himself. So we'll see how the next dragon fight is going to look. Currently, it is Iceborn Kingdom with the position in the river. See Yangu back out onto the map now, but I don't think he is going to be in time to contest. So we're going to exchange the first couple dragons. And the soul for game number 3 is Ocean.
Oh, that's a TP from Silas.
Oh, and a double pulverize from Kodis. In goes the Akali, though, looking for that execution onto somebody. Doesn't find the shuriken flip, though. There's the bullet time to come up from the Misfortune. Very, very nice. They've taken down the Maokai, but now Haman Karn might have to be left for dead. There is the kill for the Akali and the feat of warfare for XSV Justice. Ends up being a 1-for-1 in the fight, but the dragon did go over to Iceborn.
Yeah, but that's a feat of warfare claimed as well, which I think is pretty big for them. And they're able to get this push out. Mundo is able to get close to 2 plates here. I don't think it'll quite tick over here. Akali is able to kill that cannon minion off. That would have given him that second plate here, which I think means that he's just off now on being able to complete any sort of item. Has 1,000 gold in inventory. Yeah. So I think sticking around for at least one more wave here on this Mundo here. I'm guessing we're going to be doing this Warmogs thing where we're trying to get Warmogs plus an extra Giant's Belt that goes in towards that Hearth Steel before we take our reset here, and then you never reset again off
Amp
the
is in
map.
a really tough spot right now. The Maokai is going to go for the twisted advance to get to the correct side of the Alistar, and will be able to do so. 6-7, unfortunately, you can't headbutt someone who is untargetable. So Amp able to get out of that tricky situation.
Yeah. Also, even worse if you just buffer and activate it, because Maokai always appears behind you when you W, so you will just like punt him away to safety.
That does explain why Kodis never ended up pressing the button.
Yeah.
And Amumu thinking about a wraparound right now on this bot lane. Ultimate about to come back up for 6-7. A little bit longer for Koopa on this Misfortune. Oh, we see a rotation
And
coming down from
Malins
all
has
ends as well.
Yeah. There should be a really big dive here. I feel like we need to watch. We do see Volibear is sprinting. Hollenkarn knows what's happening, but I feel like we need to
just start it up. They're looking to focus down Koopa potentially if they can get on top of this Misfortune. He tries to flash back underneath the tower. The execution is going to be there. They do lose the Maokai in the process. Malin's forced to flash back out from underneath the turret. Haman Karn forward with the Stormbringer, but not able to lock anybody down. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. But you have to favor XSV's side of that, able to take out the Misfortune, prevent Koopa from farming up that wave.
Yeah, and there is a lot of damage getting down to this mid tower here. That was a cannon wave. So OTF did have that extra damage from the cannon minion that was attacking that mid tower. But wasn't able to kind of get anything done. I'm guessing this is going to be this first item coming through. The Blackfire Torch is there now, but that is answered by Akali having her Storm Surge already completed alongside these Sork Shoes. That's such a big power spike. Oh, and
come out in the top lane is so easy, taking another beating from the Silas. I really think that champ, the Silas, is just a broken champ right now. He just feels so strong. Like, even if you put him behind early, he just scales like a absolute monster. You were highlighting earlier the fact that he gets so many base stats from levels.
Yeah.
So much damage. He's just broken. Has that Rod of Ages, as you correctly predicted earlier as well. Got that just about half stacked already.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what else we decide to go for on Kleos. If we're going to continue this kind of battle mage build and build, you know, the Leandries or something like that, or the Mordekaiser item that I forgot the name of that gives you the amp, because I can't remember things.
Riftmaker?
Riftmaker, yeah. Or if it's just going to build, yeah, or straight AP. I guess we'll see here. There's the reset. Oh, no, just getting canceled, just teasing us with it.
So with the Rift Herald take that we saw just a moment ago for the side of XSV, they did secure Feats of Strength. We do now see Shelly in inventory for Yengu. 45 seconds on the next Dragon. It's going to be Dragon number 2 for somebody. Got some nice vision around the area right now for Iceborn Kingdom. It's been set up by 6-7. But still a possibility for XSV to move in here and retake some control. Bot wave fully pushed out for the Misfortune. And now XSV moving into the river.
Yeah, that's just the thing. There's like all the ults that, you know, Silas can steal. It's just going to make him so unkillable. I really think that damage is like the name of the game that he should be looking at here. I'm hoping we're able to get some of that. And we do see it is this mask in his inventory, so that is something coming out.
Dragon sputtered up immediately. So Easy is moving directly towards this fight. Teleport in for Kleos on the Silas. He's going to go for a pretty deep angle. I don't think he has the read on where Koopa is right now on this Misfortune. Could collapse on Koopa, but the Misfortune is unspotted right now, trying to join back up with the team. Is going to be able to skirt around the Silas, but Iceborn running out of time to force their way in here, and a nice Nature's Grasp from Amp is going to deny the possibility. So Dragon secured for XSV. Really nice control over the area. Now
they're still looking for this fight.
Yeah. In the end, it looks like it's not going to materialize.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not going harder for this. They have so many go buttons, right? You have a Moo to just go in, but I guess you've already expended this Nature's Grass. Maybe you don't need it. And for this, yeah, I mean, they kind of won already, right? They don't really need to get anything more.
I would say so.
I feel like it's just going to be such a long time here for this Mundo. We see it's Hearthsteel, and they are building MR early. That is a Spectre's Callan inventory.
It is. So we are going a Magic Resist item second. That is very good news for all of the Iceborn fans. So Easy, you know, is also going to get stronger as the game progresses. We're also going to see the first turret going to get taken as Monoxia caught by the Alistar combo with the Killer Instinct to get away from the bullet time. Great bonus between the 80 carries. Now the teleport in for Mullins. Amp hanging out on wings here as well, but the Maokai doesn't have ultimate available right now. That mid-tier one's going to get taken as well, so a couple of turrets in quick succession secured by the Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to see Kleos start doing something with this lead, right? I feel like he was so far ahead on this Silas and just hasn't really done anything with his lead. Sure, he's TP'd into a couple of these fights, but hasn't, like, you know, stolen anything or done any plays, hasn't, you know, taken this push that he's gotten to invade or get anything. I really want to see Kleos start moving because Mullins has been trying, right? We saw that bot lane dive happen for them. So I want to see Kleos start being a little bit more proactive on the map. I think he needs to start doing something because I'm not sure how much longer this game's going to be able to be open like this and have these low impact skirmishes. I'm pretty sure we're going to start getting into 5v5 soon. And once we get to that point, I feel like Iceborn has a bit of a better team for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of how we set it up. OTF going to get tagged by the Bandage, tossing the ultimate immediately. The Victor gets assassinated. Nice setup there from Yango. Nice follow through from Mullins. That is going to be kill number 3, actually, for the Akali. Right, yeah, and the Otacon is spawning as well.
Yeah, this is a kill that kind of means something. I don't really support using this Rift Herald on this bot lane tower that's almost dead, but it is some sort of money at least for your team.
Now they are going to destroy that tower. New guy getting leashed towards their own tribe rush, so a pretty decent setup, but Haman Karn is here. Both top lane. Oh, actually, a teleport not quite there for Kleos just yet, but he'll have it very soon. Yeah, the Otacon, I think they are retreating off of the Otacon, as I'm just going to move my camera over there to try and see what's happening over here. The Otacon is down to about 50%. It looks like now going to releash.
Yep.
All right. Disengage
see,
from the new guy.
Moxia going back to mid lane here is going to be able to have maybe a little bit of time to hit this tower, but I doubt they're going to take it. Doesn't really know where anyone is. Just going to collect some more waves here for themselves. Maybe look towards the Scuttle Crab in the top lane after it's gone, or they'll go to support Amp and trying to clear out this vision. But again,
on the next Dragon Storm is going to be Ocean Soul Point for the side of XSV if they can get this next dragon.
Yeah, and it's on Kleos, I think, right? They have their second item. They have Rift Maker done. They have their Rod of Ages done. They're level 14. This is the fight that they got to rock up to and make a big difference. I mean, you have Alistair ult that you can steal to make yourself way tankier. You have an MF ult if your team is able to land some great CC for you. Victor ult just to do some constant damage. I think this is the fight where Kleos really needs to come in. I really don't want to see them in this top lane and looking to TP in. We see Mundo here, so easy, as already knows that this is the fight that decides the game. He's here early. He doesn't need to TP.
Yeah, very true. It does mean that if the side of XSV are going to be able to stall around this objective, then Kleos is going to start putting on some pressure on that tier 2. But it looks like he is just backing off and looking for that teleport angle. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Nature's Grasp going to get thrown out by Amp.
There's the TP.
Very
He's
early.
Here.
In goes Yangu. And yeah, the assassins are immediately, but the bullet time is really nice. Yangu flashes out to survive the Misfortune ultimate with a double up. Takes down the Amumu. Monoxia able to trade back. Takes down the Alistair. And now Haman Karn going down extremely low as well. There's the Shuriken flip and the execution for Malin's enemy jungler down. Objective now should be in the sights for XSV. 3 men strong. Do Iceborn feel the need to contest here? There's still a chance they could win the fight, but the Mundo ultimate has already been used, as has the bullet time.
Yeah, but there's no junglers up for either team, so it's not a clean support.
In goes the Silas. He flashes forward, gets a little bit more healing, and the kills start to come through. Monaxia diving on top of that Victor, and so easy. He's going to get taken down here off on the side. Kaisa picks up her second. And it's going to be XSV Justice. They finish off the team fight, and they will go up to Soul Point.
Yeah, you feel they have to be able to get this here, but their team has to reset. They're all so low here, and Haman Karn is the one kind of out on the map first here. 6-7 should be able to start getting some ward clears down. Oh, Akali's just going to look for them.
Pushed away by the Akali. Smolin's very, very strong right now, as we can see. Dragon started up now for XSV, but as you correctly identified, Haman is back out onto the map, but he doesn't quite have his ultimate back yet. Cannot get into the pit, and so it will indeed be the third dragon for Justice. Otacon is still alive down there. Another Shuriken flip for the Akali, but gets comboed by the Alistar. Goes into the Shroud, but I think Mullins is always going to drop here. A shutdown over to Haman Karn. And a man advantage on the map now for Iceborn. Could this be now their new guy for the taking?
I think it's most assuredly their new guy for the taking. And this is the worry, is if you're donating these shutdowns, you have to play on this razor edge like Mullins is, looking for these plays.
Another victim, headbutts the Silas into the team. Kleos dives off to the side, finds the chains, but immediately gets burst down. And now Haman Karn going in deep, trying to get on top of Monaxia. It's the front line that's going to be taken down first. The Curseless Head Mummy does come out onto 4, but it's just too late. The team fight has already been lost. Monaxia trying to go for the hero play, but it's just going to be one more in the coffers of Iceborn. They win out easily in the 5v4, and they will take a significant lead after the Otacon is secured.
Yeah, and this is going to start being the nightmare scenario. The enemy team is going to start getting this MR that we were talking about, right? That they are a team that is all damage and it's all AP. And the enemy tanks are going to start getting to that point where I don't think you're going to be able to deal with them. Mundo is already at 300 Heartsteel stacks, has that Spirit Visage in his inventory, and is sitting on 4,000 HP right now. Oh dear God, this guy is going to be a monster. I think So Easy is going to have a huge game, especially as he gets closer and closer to that level 16 mark where you get that upgraded ult. It's going to be so hard now. Because Moaxia is the only one who can kill him, right? And it's the Kraken Slayer and the Rageblade build. Like, it's the on-hit. You have to have uptime to be able to kill him.
Yeah, and that's could be a tall order. We'll see if XSV Justice can rally back from here. But yeah, I mean, it definitely does feel like the side of Iceborn are getting very, very tanky. And the damage profile for this red side draft is starting to become a pretty big issue.
Yeah, but it's less than 3 minutes till their soul, right? And if they're able to get Ocean Soul, that alleviates a lot of the concerns from this comp, because it just means they're able to just keep these fights going so long. And even if the enemy team has all that MR and healing, you're going to be able to match it with that Ocean Soul healing.
Very true. And they do have some pretty tanky members on their side as well for XSV Justice. So completely right. That next dragon fight is still going to be really big, and XSV absolutely could still end up winning out. Amp going to get comboed by 6-7, but is able to retreat for now. But the wave clear is not really there for Justice right now. They're tier 2 just getting taken in there. But the teleport behind for Kleos. The Silas going for a big play here. Nature's Grasp does come out. Only really finds the Alistar. The Silas, though, did steal away the Alistar ultimate. Gonna be very, very tanky, but Amp going down low. Yango looking for the big ultimate. Finds Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 3. In comes the Akali now as well. They take down Haman Karn. 6-7 is gonna drop next, but the carries still staying alive as they take down the Amumu in trade. And So Easy, so big on this Mundo. They traded back onto Yangu, and now Malins has already used everything. Double kill over to OTF. It was a good attempt from XSV, but So Easy was too large, and the carries played it well on the side of Iceborn. They end up winning out 3-for-2. Now looking for the Baron.
I will mention that Koopa was forced to burn their flash during that play, so that is going to be something that they can maybe look to punish and get something done. That this MF is no longer going to have flash in this next fight, and there is flash going to be up on Yengu and Kleos as well as Mullins. So I don't think MF's going to be able to live through this next fight, and we are getting a minute towards this dragon. That this is going to probably be the one that decides the game.
Yeah, and now, okay, yeah, a little bit scary without a jungler there, but the Baron is going to be secured by the side of Iceborn, and with that Baron buff, they should be very heavily favored in this dragon fight. They just gotta keep doing what they've been doing at this point. So we can see how difficult it is for XSV to play out the 5v5s with this composition.
Yeah, and Moaxia not able to finish their next item. They're still waiting to finish their third. Akali as well is just so close to hitting a really big spike. We see those 2 rods in her inventory. I don't know if this is a fight you can take. I almost feel like you should try and give this up and look for something somewhere else on the map.
Yeah, it feels really tough. I mean, we do see Kleos level 16 now in the Silas looking for that off angle. You know, if they can find the flashless MF and assassinate Koopa, you know, the entire landscape of this game could change. Kleos spotted out.
Oh, they're looking for OTF instead.
Just have the stolen away Volibear ultimate. Can't find the chains, though, onto the Misfortune. Eventually, Amp is going to flash in there, but it's just not enough. They take down Kleos. The Maokai will be next. In goes Yangu. Does find the 3-man ultimate. But Mullins is immediately going to get taken down by the Volibear. And Monaxia is against the whole world right now. And the Kaisa not going to be able to come out on top of that one. So another decisive team fight. The victor did die, but it was 4 members of XSV that were traded for him. And now with the Baron buff on, they're just pushing down the mid lane. Could be looking at a 30-minute end here in game number 3. Monaxia has to hold on for at least 5 seconds. The Maokai is going to be back 15 on the solo laners. The wave coming in. Some big health bars here for the side of Iceborn Kingdom. The Nexus turrets under fire. The Kaisa doesn't have the wave clear. The Nexus turrets are going to be taken down. The Nexus exposed, still a couple of seconds away from the solo laners, and that is going to be it. That is going to be Iceborn Kingdom establishing their reign, and XSV Justice going to be sent packing here in the 3-game series. Iceborn Kingdom, the preseason predictions, reign supreme. Storm, they will be going to playoffs.
Yeah, big win, I would say, for them. A really well-deserved win. They were able to play it patiently, that they got behind and kept their cool, that there was no huge throws happening, right? There was no, oh, we have to fight for this, or we need to do this, or something along those lines, right? That there wasn't some like fights that weren't going their way, but then they kept their cool and they were able to regroup, and they were able to take that Atacon fight that was able to get them back into that game. I think there's like a huge shout out deserving to most of this team just for keeping their mental. I think Koopa deserves a big shout out. They're kind of what I'm looking at for my player of the game, because that game seemed really, really tough to play as that misfortune there. And he only died twice.
Yeah, very fair, I think. There wasn't really that much setup for him, right? Again, it was mostly just the Alistar combo that he could look to combo off of. I do think that 6-7, aka Codus here, had another really nice game in game number 3. I was saying that I felt like there was going to be a lot of pressure on the Alistar in this draft, and definitely did a good job setting up those plays for the team. But yeah, I think Koopa played it out really nicely as well. Was playing really far back, really respectfully right on this misfortune. Clearly had the awareness that like he is going to be a target in all these fights for these assassins, these divers on the side of XSV. We're going to be trying to get on top of them. And yeah, I felt like both Koopa and OTF played the fights out very well, played very far back, waited for their opportunities, and were able to punish, as soon as the divers tried to come in. They were really able to kite back nicely and turn it back around onto XSV. So I like the Koopa highlight for sure. And ultimately, I think that the side of Iceborn were rewarded, right, for their kind of easier to execute draft that they went for here in game 3. The more standard team fighting ended up really working out well for them.
Yeah, I think so. Just kind of one of those things of your team picked full MR damage, right? It's so silly to hype on and just go, oh, they only did this one thing and that's what was wrong with their comp. But that really was what it was, right? Is the tanks on the enemy team were just unkillable, right? Your carries just were not able to threaten them. Sure, Moexia did the most damage in the game as Kaisa, but like it didn't matter. They were pumping DPS into like tanks that just wouldn't die. That's the reason their DPS was so high, is because those other tanks weren't taking damage from your teammates, right? Like Akali didn't even bother trying to hit Mundo or Vic or Volibear basically at all past like 11 minutes. I don't think I saw like almost a single spell get used on them.
Yeah. And, I love that you highlighted the mental as well for the side of Iceborn Kingdom. That was the main thing that I think we were worried about for their side tonight is, taking those tough losses in the last couple of rounds of Swiss against some really strong opponents. We were worried that, maybe that was going to irreparably damage, their confidence and their ability to be resilient in these matches. But they definitely did show that resilience tonight, right? Even after losing game number 1, we were like, oh, man, like maybe they are just mental boom and XSV Justice have all of this momentum coming from last week, and thought maybe they were just going to be able to take it. But Iceborn Kingdom able to really kind of lock in and prove, why we had them highlighted as one of the stronger teams in the league. They really were able to showcase that class tonight, I think.
I think they played really well. I'm really excited to see this draw show as well. That I'm not sure if we're waiting on any results. We have seen both Conduit series have finished. That I hate to break it to all the Conduit fans out there, but neither of your teams have made it to the playoffs. Moonlight Spire was able to take the 2-0, as well as XSV Envy Justice, whichever one wasn't playing for us.
NC
Yeah.
then took down Conduit Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like Dorado Gaming Iota for some reason also posted that they were the winners of the
Seeding matches.
seeding matches as well.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Looks like it was like a little three-way bracket ended up getting set up
Yeah.
there between Dorado, Iota, Team Solo, Invade, and Monkey's Business, and Dorado did come out on top. So then I believe that is going to make them third seed, if I'm not mistaken, going into the playoffs. Because obviously 1 and 2 seed were locked up by Syndicate and XSV Gluttony.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely good for Dorado. They are going to get, I guess they're going to get to play the winner of, presumably there's going to be another seeding match between XSV Envy, obviously Iceborn Kingdom here, and Moonlight Spire. And the winner of that, seeding, those seeding matches, I guess, will then be able to get up to 6th seed and presumably will end up playing against Dorado in the first round of playoffs, I believe is how that is going to work.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking Bully will come through and tell us. I thought the top 2 teams in XSV Justice and Syndicate Sin Zero were going to play, and they would have first pick of all of the 3 and 2 teams. To me, would have made sense, but who knows?
Yeah.
Bully is the one with all the answers. He is the knower. He is the creator of our format. So I'm sure we'll get him on the draw show and he'll be able to tell us.
Yeah, not sure if he's going to be coming in like imminently here, or if we're supposed to go to break again, or what the dealio is. We're getting to the bottom of it right now, but
Yeah. Yeah, I
okay.
think we're just going to a break here, not a raid out for the evening. But yeah, we will be going to a break, guys, and we'll be back with the draw show pretty soon here.
I believe the stream is going to end because I think we're
Yeah.
switching producers. I think Sirius is
Ah.
bowing out, and we're going to have Pop-Tart coming in to produce the draw show. So the stream will
Okay.
end, but we will still be back for the draw show in just a short time, I believe. Not too long. We'll have to wait for that one. So congratulations to Iceborn Kingdom on picking up the 2-1 victory tonight and on making it into playoffs. Commiserations for XSV Justice. They definitely had a pretty good shot here. Just were not quite able to get over the line. Did we decide on a game 3 POG, Storm? Is that our last order of business,
Koopa,
I think?
I think Koopa, we decided got it.
That's
for
right.
playing that.
That's right. Yeah, very nicely played there by the Misfortune. So we will be back in just a moment for the draw show. Don't go too far away.